Nick, you in here? Sorry, my thing dropped. I'm sorry, guys. I'm back. Joey, what's the significance with the number 27 with you? You said every couple of hours? Not sure what 27 is to me. Someone said it was Yemaya, but Yemaya is not 27. 27? No. They don't have double digits like that. It's not Yemaya. You guys have to, all you can do is put the ancestors on him, right? All you can do is ask for them to guide him. All that you can do is strengthen them and ask for them to protect him and eventually lead him home, right? All you can do for him is to give prayer to them. He is their bloodline, like you guys are their bloodline. So when I do prayers and things for with my ancestors, any of my energies that are those protective forces, I pray for my entire family. I pray for those of my spiritual lineage. I pray for my bloodline as a whole, right? The prayers, like, do you see those memes, the prayers that your grandmother was given over the years still carry you and protect you today? That is true, so you can still pray for them. You still have to understand that you can't change someone's life, nor can you get in the middle of the choices that they make, right? All you can do is, he's always wearing feathers and bow and arrow. I am of Native American descent. If you so the prayers and things that you do with your ancestors is to strengthen them so that they can span out their hands to hold all of your family in protection, right? And then you ask them to start talking to him, right? Talk to him in his dreams, right? The things that we do affect the things that happen with the rest of our bloodline. I can tell when one of my cousins or something is acting up, I'll go talk to my ancestors and send them, and he'll call me like, yo, I just had a dream, and they'll go right over there and start messing with him, right? Until he decides, all right, this may not be right, and then he'll start calling and making himself more part of the spiritual things that we are doing as a unit, right? And so if he doesn't choose to do these things, all you can do is pray for him. All you can do is have him covered on the back end, if you will, by doing the things for your ancestors and doing the things for your bloodline. And the more you grow, hopefully, the more energy is allowed to grow, which will eventually span out and pull him on the right path, if you will, you know. And if you can talk him into getting a reading for himself, oh, they let him have it. You know, if he's interested in, I don't know how you would, pose that information to him, but tell him, like, listen, you fucking up, Pops. Let's get you a reading and see what's going on in your life. Have you asked him what's going on with him? Why does he move the way that he moves? What is it going on? And then look at how he was raised. What happened to him? Why is he so freestyle right now? Where's the father energy? What happened with the father energy that was in the household that he didn't have the, best relationship with? Like, all of this stuff comes into play. So you guys got to sit down and think about this, right? Mom's worried, but mom saw him coming up. Mom saw the things that was going on in his life, and she made excuses for a lot of the things that he did, right? Because of whatever happened, right? Those excuses is the reason why it's happening the way that it is right now, and he's a little bit out of control, unfortunately. All right, the music. I got some music. He's always wearing feathers and bow and arrow. I know you are Native American descent. Okay, so that you now need, do you know the names of your ancestors? Right? This is the time to find out who they were. If you have Native American descent, he could very well be a Native American guide that may not be of your bloodline. But if you have Native American energies that were part of your ancestral lineage, then you absolutely more than likely have a Native American commission that's back there. And if he's standing there and he's guiding you the ways that he's guiding you are these helpful ways that is it helpful to you? Does it help when he steps forward in these dreams? Now it's time to start asking, okay, who is this? Right? Who are you? Tell me your name. Some of them didn't speak. Right? So if he's doing signing, you have to figure out, try to pay attention to any of the signing that he did. There were plenty of natives who were from different tribes that did not speak the same tongue, right? So they made up different ways of communicating by using signs and symbols, right? Signing, if you will, not regular sign language, but it was a different way for them to communicate. I looked online not too long ago, and they have a complete guide of different symbols, signs that the natives use, because the white people used to go and learn this stuff for them to get in there and infiltrate and all this other kind of stuff. So they have this shit. It's on the internet. I saw it. Pages of it. And they're showing you the signs and telling you what the signs meant. There's a little bit more research that you need to do, and then you probably need a reading, right, to see who else is in your court. If this is, because I had someone again the other day, and this is coming from her ancestors, so I like to do it this way with the ancestors because they tell you who's back there and who it was. The person that it was actually her great-grandfather, and she wasn't sure, but he told her the name. So when we asked her ancestors, they said yes, and then they told us which line it was from, the maternal or the paternal line. So it just happened to click in that he gave her just enough of the information, and we asked and they confirmed it. So it's time to start confirming some of this stuff. I had Ifa reading my Odu scared the hell out of me. Well, why? Those are your guidelines, and your those are the things. Your Odus is what keep you safe, right? Your Odus are what keep you protected. Your Odus are what's going to keep you out of harm's way, because that's the foremention of what is not good for you. What is going to harm you. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. There's nothing like foresight in this walk. This is one of the reasons why I love this shit. Spirit sees in past, present, and future. There's nothing like that information ahead of time to keep you out of harm's way. That's not something to fear. That's something to be grateful for. Everybody don't have that. That's why our culture and our ways have been hushed for so long and hidden and buried, because if you have the foresight to know what's coming, and you can avoid the obstacles, you can avoid the harm and everything else that's coming and keep yourself safe. That's why it was taken away. That's the best thing ever. I love that about them. So speaking with the ancestors, you have to want to get serious with them about, you gotta want to get serious about your life. Period. Do you want better? Do you want change? Do you want guidance? Do you want to know how to overcome your obstacles? Do you want to know how to become a better you? Do you want to know the things about you that make you not such a great person that you need to work on? Yes, you have to be serious. You got to be straight serious about your life to say that all of the things that I've experienced, this world, all of this shit is fake. And if I change my outlook, and I change my perception, and I change my perspective, and I understand that all of these things that have been placed upon me are all glamour. It's all glamour. At the center of it all, I am spirit first, and my spirit is an amazing thing. My spirit is endless. My spirit will never die. My spirit can communicate on levels that you have never seen nor could imagine. I am able to walk through astral planes. I am able to walk through different worlds and different lands and remember lifetimes of things that have happened over hundreds of thousands of years. That means that I have tools at my disposal, information and knowledge. That means that I can't be fucked with. You got to be serious to get all of that. There is no half-assing. That's right. You just read a whole time. You're welcome, baby. So scared, but I'm gonna understand a little bit more. What is it about the Odu that you received that would scare you? Right? You can't do this, or this is going to happen. That's not fear. That's a blessing. If you didn't have that Odu and you went and did that, and now you're sick, right? What do I do now? Because first things we always tell you to do is to go to the doctor. Doctor, we don't know. There's nothing wrong with you. We can't figure it out. Now it's spiritual. Oh, well, the Odu said I couldn't do this. All right, so let me take that out. The sickness disappears. Oh, that's foresight. That's a beautiful thing. You recommend on Odu Osababa is actually the sweetest thing, amazing energy. Oh, yes, Heel. Not on, it depends on where, on which Odu, right? Because when you're doing Marinda Lagoon, those Odus are different than the Odus that you receive from Ifa. So, they're different. If you're getting the Marinda Lagoon, which is the 16 calorie shell divination system that you usually get from a Santero or a Santera, right? Those Odus are not the same as the Odus that you would receive from a Babalao. That information is different. So it depends on which Odus you're trying to understand. Yes, my challenge was sickness and my father's ancestors, right? So you know where it's coming from. You know that this is something that can happen if you don't, you can't follow the same guidelines that they did as far as eating and consumption, right? You know that this is innate within you, that if you don't avoid certain things, then you're going to experience the same type of health issues that they had. Cold turkey is what it's called. No fear. Period. It's time to go cold turkey. That is your saving grace. That is you don't have to worry about the diabetes, right? You can't deal with the gout. Your body is already predispositioned to these ailments. You can't fear that. You have to look at these things as a blessing. It is a change of the way that you're looking at it, right? I don't go into any readings or anything like that with fear. I go in there knowing that I'm going to get information. Good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. They're going to give it to me. They're going to give me only what I need to know, not what I want to know. What I need to know is the information that I'm going to give, because my needs supersede my wants at all times. My needs make sure that I'm still here. My needs make sure that I am cognizant of the things that are going on in my life. My needs are making sure that all of my basic necessities are met. That's what's up, right? Anything beyond that is extra. That's glitter, that's frosting, that's glam, right? Needs first, then you get sprinkles of wants, right? You can't fear the needs because you'll never get to the wants. That's where the abundance comes from. That's where the prosperous manifestation and stuff comes from. You can't operate from a fear-based point of reality and think that blessings and abundance and manifestations and all of those things are going to be able to come to you, because it doesn't work that way. You have to be open to receive things of all nature, right? You got to accept the clouds and the storms and everything that comes with them in order to receive these things. So you can't operate from a fear-based a point of fear. That doesn't work. My father's ancestors bringing challenges to me because I don't know them. Yeah, so now you got to get to know them. Work backwards. What did I have to do? I had to get birth and death certificates on those and I ordered them online. Vitalrecords.com for whichever state the person lived and or died in will give you the birth and death certificates. They were about $12 here in the States. And from the death certificate, you have to have always on there someone signed off on the death. It gives you the next of kin. I found aunts, great aunts that way, that was the way I had to do. I had to work backwards, and I was able to find death certificates, birth certificates, things of that nature. Once I found 3 of those, old family members started finding pictures that we haven't seen. I'm 45 years. We've been looking for pictures of my great-great-grandmother for 45 years. 4 months ago, we got some. My father, I had to do Ebo to appease them. To appease your ancestors, yeah, they asked for Ebo. They ask for that. That's giving them, if it was sangre, if it was blood, you know, that's life force, right? They ask for that to help them become stronger. A lot, if they were ailed in life and they passed that way, they are trying to build up themselves to the point to pass all of that off so that they can now be strong enough to help you to avoid those things. When you get that type of warning, that means you're on a path of reaching that and they don't want you there, right? So the warning that comes up in the form of Odu is cut it off now so that you don't have to amputate the whole leg. If we stop it now, we caught it before it turned into full-blown cancer. Now we got the tumor out and you're going to be all right as long as you continue this way of living, right? Because the change spiritually is a lifestyle change altogether. Consumption, living, energies that we allow ourselves to communicate, and you know, all of that stuff. It all works hand in hand. What are your spiritual gifts? We got to identify what gifts you have. What are your gifts? Do you know? Sometimes we got to try different things to see where our gifts reside. Some people know that we hear it here, we see it here, we hear it here. We have a gift that we are able to speak, and Spirit speaks through us, right? I have to always watch my lives. I have no idea what I be telling y'all at all whatsoever. Sometimes I'll remember the beginning parts, and when they get to talking, I have no idea. I have read somebody, straight up read them. And then when I do my readings by video, right? Walked into this person's misa, I don't know how many months later, and looked at this girl and said, "You look so familiar to me." She was like, "You read me." I don't remember that, right? When it is Spirit that's working through me when I'm doing these things, so I don't be remembering. Yes, a gift, a sight. You have to allow time, place, and opportunity. You have to understand how it is that they communicate, right? If your gift is in sight, you have to figure out what forms of communication do they want to use in order to give you the sight, right? You have to cleanse your head constantly, right? Because your Ori must be in alignment in order for you to be able to see astrally, right? To have the mystic vision or whatever the gift of sight is that you have, right? So constant cleansing, body and space, right? Where you reside, where you rest must be clean, right? Spirit doesn't like a dirty, cluttered atmosphere. So you have to make sure that that's taken care of. Your diet matters, right? You have to make sure that you're not doing things that will calcify your pineal gland, which is your third eye. Faucet water, if you live in the cities, has chlorine in it. That calcifies your pineal gland. You can't eat all of these foods. You have to eat, like, some people have to have meat in their diet, right? Most people that are non-melanated are those forms that have to have meat in their diet, right? We are people, come from a people that did not eat meat all the time. We are of hot-blooded, what do you call it? We come from a hot area, right? There's fresh fruits, there's greens, there's vegetables, there's all of those types of things that are growing, right? So though nature, right? Those are the things that we should be feeding our bodies anyway. On special occasions in Africa, the kings and the queens and the people of the hierarchy would have meats at the times of special occasions and things of that nature. So they didn't eat meat all the time. They had them on special occasions. You have to condition your body to now eat of a more healthy lifestyle so that this machine is operating at the highest capacity, right? If we are nature's children and we are in direct lineage and alignment with the divine cosmos and the world and the earth and everything, then nature gives us everything that we need in order to feed us and to nourish us in order to have these machines operating at full capacity. None of those things include chemical, none of those things include any of the things, the dyes or the things that they put in our foods. So you have to do away with those types of things as well in order for you to be able to communicate with spirit, right? Hydration, grounding, time, space, and opportunity. You have to meditate. Some people think that meditation is sitting down, legs crossed, No, I meditate by doing my works, right? I'm doing little beating and little things of that nature. It's quiet, right? And those moments, I'm giving spirit full access to show me how this piece should be looking, how this piece should be turning out. They're using my hands, right? But they're giving me the picture to make sure that it looks the way. If I try to add my zhuzh to it, they will knock it out of the way, because that's not what they add. They'll straight up hide something from me in plain sight. I will not see it, but damn it, it'll be right there, and I will look for 2 days until I finish the way they told me to do it. Then I'll find it, because we told you not to use that and you kept trying to use it. You've got to give them time, space, and opportunity for them to communicate with you. Relax yourself. You've got to be relaxed. You've got to, I made a head wash last night that had me riding the wave when I took it. That's hilarious. What do you mean riding the wave? Same with me. I have dreams of seeing what avoid and what to trust. Right. But see, if you're having dreams that way now, you have to work towards seeing that and getting the message when you're awake. Because if they're communicating with you that way in your dreams, that means that you're getting some sense of it while you're awake. You're just not paying enough attention to it. Right? You've got to pay attention to those gut pit feelings. You got to pay attention to that hot pit stomach feeling, that hair on your arms or the back of your neck, or a twinge or a twitch or a shimmy or a shiver, something like that. You got to pay attention to all of that. I have moved on from Blunts to Banyo. I just said that words too, to have take care of my Ori consistently. Yes, you have to. You have to pray to your Ori too, right? I do a daily prayer to my Ori. It's up in my in my highlights. There's an Ori prayer there. I pray to my Ori every single day, right? Listen, your Ori must accept all of the blessings and the lessons that you receive, good, bad, or indifferent. Your Ori must accept any of the Orisha that come to you, any of the guides that come to you, anything that you receive, your Ori must first accept it. So your Ori must be strong enough and able enough to decipher what is good and what is bad, right? Your Ori is the only Orisha that will never leave you, the only one that won't falter on you, the only one that is there from the time of your birth to the time of your death without ever leaving you. So that is the most important thing. Your head, without the head, the body falls. So all due respect and all protection must be on your head in order for you to obtain anything. You can't have this calcified. Your organs are soft and mushy. Nothing's hard. Your heart, your lungs, your liver, none of those things are hard, right? So why would your pineal gland, it's a gland. The gland is soft and it's moist. Is your Ori the same as your higher self? In a sense, right? Your Ori is a portion of you that resides in the heavens. Remember, when we deal in energies, we're dealing with sparks of these energies, right? When you're dealing in Orisha and you say, oh, I'm crowned this, that whole Orisha's energies, that force, that essence is not riding you at that time. This is but a mere piece of that Orisha that is interacting with you, that is working with you, that is connecting with you. It's nothing but a piece of that, right? So your Ori is kind of the same essence, right? It's an Orisha, right? Part of it resides in the heavens, right? Part of it resides here. That is how we have a direct link from here to the heavens. Your Ori connects you to the heavens, right? When we want our Oris to wake up in this tradition, we say Origio, 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 Origio. You're asking your Ori to wake up, right? There are prayers that I do that I ask for more of my Ori, my spiritual spark, my spiritual essence to come down here to me in this plane and give me more clarity. Give me more insight. Give me more strength. Give me more of all of the things that I need that I don't even know that I need. Make me stronger now. Make me in tune. Make me solid. Make me connected on all aspects of the things that my Ori can do for me, and guide me above all else. Guide me correctly. I'm going to listen. I won't falter on you because I know you won't falter on me. This is the way that you communicate with spirit. You got to, if I'm going to talk to a spirit that came here to help me, I'm going to talk to my own spirit that way. Because damn it, I'm here to help myself. Right? It's okay to feed your Ori. Feed your Ori how? How would you be thinking of feeding your Ori? What is feeding your Ori to you? We're balancing the crown chakra, strengthening the connection to the Ori. It will help. It will help. Remember when you're dealing in these chakras, right? It's a force field. It's an energy field. It's an area of energy where a certain portion is being tapped into that area that allows it to radiate and for you to work and maneuver and to stabilize and transition and walk and all of those things to between spirit and flesh, right? So if all of those things are being balanced, then how are you not balancing more and connecting more spiritually? That's what it's for. When you say give offerings, how do you give an offering to your Ori? In what form? Like, do you go, are you thinking about going someplace, placing something? Like, how, in what fashion are you thinking of feeding one's Ori? It's my jam here the monte. Because listen, your Ori is something that, like, certain times they'll say you have to have a rogation done, right? A rogation is not a feeding of your Ori. It is the cleansing and balancing, right? So when you get a rogation done, we'll use fresh white cotton. We'll use fresh shaved coconut. We'll use cascarilla. We'll use honey. We'll use holy water. We'll use things of that nature, right? The different rogations that you can receive. Certain ones need to be done by babalaos or crown santeros and santeros, where it gets into adding extras, right? There are certain times where blood needs to be fed to your head, or fish or something like that. Those are for stronger head cleansings and balancings that you would require. Those are not things that you can do yourself. Rogations, if you're not balanced, it's not a great thing for you to try to balance your own head. That means that you're already a little bit off. So you need someone else's hands that are initiated into something that works with a higher force, that is able to bring their ashe to help balance where you're teetering or tottering a little bit, if you will. Where should I start to look for a Baba in Savannah? I don't know anybody in Savannah, Georgia. I don't know anybody. I'm in New York, sweetie. I don't know anybody in Savannah, Georgia, and I don't know anyone that I would even refer you to from relation. I apologize. I don't know. I mean, if you guys ever come to New York, I have babalaos here that I trust, that I would not have a problem referring you to. But you know, you can't just go in and see a babalao. You got to get an Ifa reading, right? That first Ifa divination kind of lays out the map of what you need, what should be done, and your steps, right? When you go to Ifa, you're getting a divination which is coming from Orumila, which was the witness to your creation, the witness to destiny. So he knows what's in store for you, the roads that you have the ability to take, and the lines that you have accessible to you at this point, right? Your choices still dictate what's going to happen in your life. These are the things that can happen if you follow what we tell you to follow. If you do your own thing, then, you know, it could go left. It's going to go left. If you don't do what you're told when you go to E5, it goes left. You know? So, yeah, you guys have got to, you can't do this Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and the rest of the days you're back to your regular ways of doing things. Yeah, you fresh out July. It's January, right? So you have a lot of time, and don't rush yourself thinking that you should be further along than you are. You shouldn't be further along than you are right now, other than You're getting your ancestors all together. You're figuring out who they are. You have their names there, first and last names, maternal and paternal, family members, bloodline only, pictures. Only the people that are dead can be in these pictures. The ancestors don't share space with your Boveda. Boveda is for your guides that are not of your bloodline that come here to help you in this walk. Ancestral space is completely separate. They like things a certain way. They'll take the floor, the ancestors. In Africa, our dead used to be buried underneath the floors of our houses. This newfound thing of having people buried underground in Africa. Back in the day, people were buried above ground. You go to New Orleans, they're still buried above ground. They didn't have in the floor, underground cemeteries and things of that nature, so it was easier for them to get to their dead. You know what I mean? So you guys have to remember that the ancestors will take the floor. They don't have a problem with that unless they tell you, no, I don't want to be there, or you feel hesitant, like, I don't, you know what I mean? They don't have a problem with that. They just want their space to be their space. This is where you come to deal with us. This is our place. This is our room in your house. We family, right? And so if I invite my family here, I give my family a place to sleep and a place to feel comfortable. Same thing with your ancestors. Any spirit that's in my house, I make it comfortable for them to be here. You know, I want them to have everything that they need for them to help me in my path and in my walk, meaning I'm giving them the tools to move things for me, right? Those of you that have warriors and gueros from Orisha, so that's Ogun, Ochosi, Alegua, and Osun, right? When you get your Ogun pots, and there's tools and things in the pots, and there are I do my readings by Instagram video chat, so we can see each other. When you get your pot, you know, you shouldn't, 10 years later, you still shouldn't have the same pot that you got in the beginning that you had 10 years in the beginning. Like, the pots that they give you at first are tiny as hell. Over the years, you're supposed to build your pot, meaning more tools go in there, more irons go in there, more irons, anything iron. What does Ogun touch? Iron. He is the father of iron, the god war, right? All that shit goes in his pot. Like, you don't just go buy it and stick it in the pot. You have an elder. If you got an Orisha, you got an elder. You tell them, listen, what do I need to clean and wash it to put it in my pot? They'll give you the stuff, or they'll come do it to wash it, or they'll tell you what to do to wash it to add those extra implements to your pot. Why? You're building your pot to make them stronger, right? We give Ogun iron and metals for him to do his job. If I give him a pair of handcuffs, that means I want you to keep the law away from me. I'm giving you these handcuffs because I don't want to ever end up in handcuffs. That takes care of that, right? If I give him a crowbar, I want him to not have to worry about closed nothings for me. Pop it open, Baba. If I give him a sledgehammer, that means that anything that's in my way, any walls, pop that bitch down. He got a sledgehammer, so he could take that down for me. Remember, you got to know what you got and why you got it. The implements that are in their pots and things, and they're there to help you, right? We give them spirit tools to help them help us on that side. That translates to us on this side. Spirit, the veil, us, human existence. They are able to work both lanes. We give them the items here, they work it over there. When you go and ask for something to be done, or prosperity, abundance, a job, all that kind of stuff, and it's all this stuff that's in the way, you come here, they knock that shit out for you. Now you get to move forward. A gun. Yes, he should have a gun in his pot. If you have access to a strap, put it in your pot. Listen, I'm giving you this. Make sure that anytime, if I'm living that life, that lock up on somebody. That joint a jam if you live in that life, right? Let it jam on them. Don't let your bullets hit me, Baba. Don't let your iron gates, your bars of prison reach me, Baba. Right? He rocks with a Chosi. A Chosi comes in his pot. That's justice. Keep me out of court. Keep me out of jail. Right? These are the things that they're there to help you with. Justice on all forms. forms of justice, not just with courts and jail and all of that other kind of stuff in the judicial system, but justice all around. Blocks and barriers all around. People get shot walking in the wrong neighborhoods. Keep me protected wherever I go. You got to know what you got. You got to know what they do. You got to know them as an energy, as a life force, all that kind of stuff. Right? Money too. They're blocking your abundance. I'm going to need y'all to move some things around so that I can get to it. Where do I start? Allegro. Why? Because he opens the roads. Right? He opens the doors, and he is the communicator between you and the rest of the Orisha. So you got to go to him for him to tell the rest of them, ski you. When you have these Orisha, you can throw Obi to Alegua to ask him questions for the rest of them. Right? Can I do this? Is it in my best interest to do that? Am I able to do this? Am I able to do... Y'all got to learn how to communicate with what you have and the tools that are available to you to communicate with them. I am not crowned in Ocha by man on this plane in this lifetime. I am an Egun priestess. I am a palera. I am a yayi. I am the madre de Nikisi. I am an espiritista. I am an empath, and I'm an intuitive. I'm those things, right? I am a witch. I'm all of those different things, right? So I have a lot of different hats. My Egbe, my house is of ancestral veneration, of Egun, right? We deal with your bloodline spirits. And then the rest of the spirits that come to work with you outside of your bloodline that are in your spiritual court. That's what I do, right? So in order for you to understand the relationship that you are to have, if your road is to go to Ocha, right, or to be scratched in Palo, you have to understand consistency. You have to understand, I need to find this pot. I need to invest a lot of sharing with the ancestors. What kind of pot are you talking about, Simba? What kind of pot you talking about? An ancestral pot? But you have to remember, when we have pots and you see pots, we don't just buy them, right? We get them, but then there's a service that has to go along to have this pot charged, right? To have this pot born in a certain way and fashion so that it does what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be able to take a hit, take a charge, take... You know what I mean? The pots are not just there to be had. They do a job as well. So you can't just I just don't want you to think that, oh, I could just go buy a pot, put it there. No. There's a service that goes along with that. Anytime you see a pot, we don't just go and buy implements, pot, and that kind of stuff. Like, you have, I hope you know that when you get the pot, there's a service that goes along with the pot in order to have that pot born. Okay, I can say yes. Does anybody have any questions? I went through my list. For anybody that is looking to have a reading or a divination done, you can always DM me and I'll let you know what my availability is. We take the donations by Cash App. Once you send me the confirmation, don't send me no money. People be sending me money ahead of time. Like, you got to talk to me before you send me money, babies. So please, just DM me. Let me know what we're doing. I'll ask you what kind of reading we're doing. We'll talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna save it, love. You will go pull out our calendars and see what we can do as far as information is concerned, so that you guys can get some knowledge, right? When I give you a reading, I'm not giving you no Hedarisha reading. No, you can only get a Hedarisha reading by 3 Babalaos. 3 Babalaos must be present in order for you to find out who is your Hedarisha. Arumala is the only person that can tell you who your Hedarisha is. Some people go through crown Santeros and Santeras and let them do a Marinda Lagoon. I don't do that. That's not something that I do. That is not something that I would suggest one does, and I'll tell you why. When you're going to a Babalao and they tell you who your head is. That Babalawo normally does not have a house, right? So they're not looking to crown you. They're not looking to do a quick Ocha ceremony. They're not looking to get your money. They're not looking to do nothing but give you the information. Should they say you have to be crowned X, Y, and Z, if that Babalawo don't have a house, normally they don't, they now got to find somebody for you to go and get crowned under. So that makes more work for them. If you're going to a Santero or a Santera and they already have a house and they're rushing like, oh, you got to get crowned, you got to get crowned. To me, that's like you've just given them full access to you to tell you anything. So if you don't know this person and you don't trust this person, and trust must be earned, right? That means you haven't watched them long enough. You don't know what the other God kids are going through. You don't know much or nothing about them. I'm very hesitant on telling somebody to go to a Santero or a Santera, because in that instance, everybody at that point decides that they got to go run and get crowned. And that don't be the case a lot of times. A lot of times, they'll skip past your ancestors, right? And I'm going to tell you this. If you go to a Santero or a Santero or anybody that tries to get you to give blood or offering or ebo to anybody before your ancestors, I would advise you to stop that reading and ask that person, what's up with my ancestors? This person wants this, but what does my ancestor want? Ask everything, assume nothing. If they are open and taking a reading at that time, and spirit is supposed to be present, if you ask that question, they can't bypass that question. They better have an answer for you. I've heard somebody else say that they went to a Santero or Santera, right, for a reading. One of the ancestors was coming up. The person told them, but you got to wait for that because you got to get crowned first. We'll get to them afterwards. That's not how that works. If the ancestors come up, and they should be coming up if you haven't touched them, they are first. Before a crowning, before a ocha, before anything. They must be touched first. They can sit in the middle of that spiritual veil during that crowning and take your crown while it never touches your head. So you don't even have a full crowning in that time, because your ancestors can block that if you bypass them. If what you're about to do is going to cause you harm. If they're crowning the wrong Orisha to your head. That's happened way too many times. Because of the rushing. Because of the skipping steps. Because of doing things out of turn. Right? There's an order to this. You see these words, I never had more alignment until I started putting Egun first. Yup, my ancestors came right through. Right. You gotta let them do their job. You know why? Because they'll protect you from these people. They'll make sure that your money get jammed up and that you're not able to move forward with them. Right? The path with Egun is a beautiful and a powerful one, and it is extremely healing. That is why you have to go there first, because you must be healed. The whole point of this is for you to heal. If you are not healed, then what do you think that the rest of the energies are going to be able to do for you? Not much. You haven't learned anything. You won't even appreciate the true beauty of what it is that they're here to bring. You don't even know your talents or your gifts. So you don't even understand when they're giving you different things for you to do to make money outside of your regular 9 to 5. You don't understand that although your ancestors did X, Y, and Z, there was someone's back there that always knew how to get $1 legally. They were the thinkers. I got to connect with them so that they can give me these ideas, right? Once I connect with them and I get the ideas, now I know that who moves it. Or Alego going to open the door to make sure that they get moved, right? Or going to make sure that there's no blockages and no barriers. I got a team working on a line of things for me. So I started here. They going to carry it to them. They going to carry it to them. And it's going to push forward to work in my betterment, for my best interest, right? I'm using the laws of nature, the laws of the universe, the laws of this land, because energy is the currency, right? If I know how to use it, then I know how to get the best bang for my buck. What's my buck? It's not money. It's my energy. That's what counts. My energy. That's what they count as currency. Energy. Not money. They don't care about your money. Currency is energy. You give them all the energy that they need, they're going to make sure you got all of everything you need. Not wants, needs. We have a lot of wants in life. How much of it do we need? I don't need half the stuff I have. And I didn't realize that until they sat me down and was like, now, you done, when's the last time you touched it? I was like, oh, get rid of it. You don't need it. Stop hoarding. Stop piling things. If you're getting information, use the information. Put it to work for you. Make it be a part of your daily routine. Please. That's how you go further. That's how you move forward. You read in tarot cards. There's a spirit that reads cards. It could be an ancestor, right? It could be a madama. It could be a gitana, a gypsy. It could be a India or Kachina. Somebody's reading cards. You got to find out who's reading those cards. It is not you. That's why when I get the cards and I get a book, I never use the book. My spirits don't care about what that book says. They show me the picture and I can hear and I can see. And with this card and knowing their energy, I know how they talk, right? I know who's rougher than the other ones. I know who's going to say the shit that don't, well, they all going to say they don't care about what you hear. You ask the question, they're going to answer it, period. So I know that when I look at this card, it tells me something completely different than what Alan Kardec or whoever it is that wrote the cards. I know that this don't mean that. This means what my people says it means, because I know how they communicate and I can hear it, I can see it, I can envision it. They're putting the words in my mouth. So before I even think too hard, I should already have a connection with that energy that says when I flip this card, I know that this means this. Not what the book says. The book is just there for those of you who don't understand that there's a spirit that's connected. Those are for novices. We're not trying to be novice. We're trying to be the master of our own destiny. We're trying to be in full control and full capacity of the gifts that we have, and understand that it is innate with us, that these gifts work through us. We're connected to it. So we don't have to fight and study and memorize the cards. You're supposed to fight and study and memorize this energy. I know her. She told me her name. She told me what she likes. She told me what colors she wears. She tells me what she wants. She tells me which particular sets of tarot cards she'd like me to use when I'm dealing with her. Now, this particular madama, she don't want me to use a card. She don't want me to use a rock. She don't want me to use a shell. She don't want me to use a pendulum. She want me to sit down and take it in and connect with her energy just like that. I was trying to do some classes before COVID hit. I'm going to try to get some stuff together to put a few things together. I got it after February when things die down and I get these ultra items taken care of, and I have some IFA readings set up. So after we finish that February, I'm going to try to start planning some stuff. So yes, I will. I'm just going to start putting up posts to see what is it, the things that you guys really need the most help with, the most classes with, because I don't want to just be doing something just to be doing it. I want to make sure that I'm covering what it is that you guys actually need. You know, I don't do this for $1, right? I don't get paid off of this kind of stuff, right? Remember, this is of service. So my ancestors made sure that I was set up financially before I even came in the spiritual offering of services, so that I wouldn't have to be dependent upon that, right? So it wouldn't cloud the way that I move or the way that I do things. A lot of people do these things and get clouded because this is the way that they make their money. And so they lose the character behind it, sadly enough. They lose the true reason and the true gift of what they've been given, which is to be of service, not to make money. I do this stuff so at the end of it, when you tell me like, yo, I feel like I got it, I'm good, I'm moving, they communicate, that's the payment. Like I'm happy that you guys, my job is to make sure that you get the knowledge, the information, and the wisdom so that you can stand on your own 2 feet and you don't need so much of everybody else to lean on. Right? You're supposed to be able to obtain, like anytime you go to school or anything like that, the degree at the end means that you got all the lessons and you're able to now step out on your own and work in this craft and in this field and be the best at what you can be. Right? So I implore you guys to not rush it, right? In the beginning, if you are doing tarots and you're doing reading and you're doing this, don't be charging the public and talking about I'm doing readings. Start with your friends and your family. Practice on them, right? Practice on yourself, right? What do I need to know today? Don't go in there with 1,000 questions and all that other kind of stuff. In the beginning, when you're starting and you're trying to communicate, you know what's going on in your life. I used to just start pulling a card with everybody. What do I need to know today? What do you got to tell me? What do you got to tell me? What do you got to tell me? And I go to each one of them, and I'll pull a card from each one of them and get the message from each one of them for the day. Normally, it always coincides because they sitting here together, and they all watching me at the same time, and they know all of the shit that I'm doing and all the way I'm falling short on. So they going to run one by one and tell me what I got to do for the day. Okay, I'm finished for the day, and I'm backing away. But I've given my energy in that day to each one of my guides that reads tarot cards, that allows me to connect with that energy, this one, and this one by one, even if I'm just reading myself. Now I'll kind of understand the way that the messages come, the cards that I start to get. If I'm doing one deck of cards with one energy, when I get to the card that starts repeating, for me, that energy is finished. She don't got nothing else to say. When that card repeats, I'm finished, right? If I started with this card, right, and I've done 4 cards, right? If that 5th card that I flip is the one that I started with, she is done, right? This is what she told me this is how she works. That's how I know this is how it works, right? She's done it to me enough times for me to know when I get back to the card that I started with, bitch, I ain't got nothing else to say to you. Now go away. It is in my communication with her, in my constant back and forth, in my constant, relationship building, that I understand that this is how she works. Those are the little things that you guys have to look for in order to figure out how it is that these energies work. That's everywhere I ask you when you move and speak. It's always from a genuine place of love and knowledge. Thank you so much, darling. It is. You know why? Because there's so many people out here doing so many wicked things. If I can catch you guys before you get there, then that helps the fight, right? That helps the fight of making it be a better rounded place to live in on this earth, right? If more people are vibrating at the right frequency, doing the right things from the right place, and feel that you got this, you got some footing, you got something that you can hold on to, you got some guidance, you got some direction. Sometimes that's all that it takes for you to stay on your path and to keep you from turning away that's going to eventually harm you, that it's not all good, that you get instant gratification, and the things that you're doing are eventually going to harm you because nobody's telling you that there's consequences for your actions. You're just seeing that you're getting stuff moving quickly, and you're not realizing that there's a trickster energy that's moving that stuff for you because you're vibrating low. So you're welcoming low vibrating energies to come and vibrate low with you. Oh, they love that shit. You're like a perfect battery for them to siphon energy from, because you're supposed to be in light, which means that you're good anyway. That means that you got a good, that's like... you hate to use this analogy, but that's like the vampires. They don't want, they want virgin blood. They don't want the whore's blood. They want virgin blood. That's that good shit. We can get a lot more life off of this. That's how that goes. Don't give them your virgin spirit. You untouched, untapped, and untainted. Your hands are still clean, right? Keep them clean. That way your blessings get to stick to your hands and not roll off to them dark energies. Because when you do dirty, your blessings tip your fingers and roll off. Because you almost had it. You almost had it. And it could have been yours if you did right. You got to work 9 times harder to try to get that back, because you got to make up for what you did, right? You got to make up for the ego that was involved. You got to make up for the haste that was involved. You got to make up for the wanting to be instead of accepting what you already are. You're already a vessel for spirit. You're already a higher being of light. You're already all of these things. You are already your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are already anointed, right? You are already blessed. You are already all of these things. Now what do I do with it? If I don't put forth it to work for the good, then what use is it? It's of no use. It's a get rich quick asking, you lose it. Is it true that when you get a lot of invisible resistance to something you're trying to do, it means you are doing the right thing? Invisible, no, it does not mean that. Invisible resistance can be your ancestors telling you this is not the move that you should be making. It depends on the scenario and the circumstances, right? It doesn't mean that it's the right thing. It could very well be the wrong thing. What is the resistance and why? You got to make it make sense, right? Sometimes it's a pause in the moment to say, this person is not the right person for you to be doing this with. This person didn't really do the things that you're thinking that they did. So if you do this, you're the one who dealt the first shot, right? Resistance can be, this person is not here to mean you any good. It's going to be harmful if you go over here. You're not ready. Resistance can be, your money just starts to fall short when you're trying to do something because you didn't give that enough thought and enough time in, and you didn't ask us, and you're skipping some steps. You know, resistance can be two ways, but you have to, that's why you have to have the connection with spirit to understand what is this resistance, right? For me, I know certain prayers like the back of my hand, right? The back of my hand. I've done them since I could speak, all of those things. If I am attempting to do something, and that first prayer is the one that I've done for 40 years, my mind gets jumbled and I forget the words to that prayer. That means sit down. Sit down. There is no reason why I should not know this prayer. That means that something is out of balance for me in that moment. So I got to sit down and figure out what that is. Right? Now I got to look at, what was I about to do? What was I make? This ain't the time. Sit down with it. You got to think about, what is the resistance to? Does it make sense? Take away what you want at the time and look at, if I did it and there's no resistance, what's the outcome could be? What are the options? All right, so now I'm looking at who I'm dealing with. Can I count on them to say 100% that this ain't going to be left? No, I need some more assurances before I move forward if I'm having so much resistance. Maybe there were some questions that I didn't ask. Maybe I didn't ask what the bargain was. What was this going to cost me? You told me what I was getting. You told me what I was supposed to do, but you didn't tell me what this would cost me. You got to ask that question. You can't assume that the cost is going to be something that you can afford to spend. That's an assumption. I had someone ask to do something with someone, and they were like, no, I'm ready. So when I spoke to them, I said, so when you asked that question, and they asked you, were you ready for this? And you said yes. Did you ask them, what exactly did they mean when they said, are you ready for this? They go, no, well, I was assuming they meant, that's your first mistake. That's where you get jammed up. You don't know what they're talking about. You didn't even ask what levels they were talking about. Nor did you ask, what was the contract? What was it going to cost me? When you asked me, was I ready? That should have let me know that there's something else back there that I need to be asking about. Did you ask that? He said no. I said, you're in trouble. Don't do it. I suggest you not do it until you ask. Until you have the full contract laid out before you for it to tell you what exactly he meant. Dirtying your spirit is not worth the little bit of what you think you're going to gain. It's not worth it. Ask everything, assume nothing. I never assume that someone means something. That's why I always ask 1,000 questions. Well, what do you mean by? Well, what do you mean by? Because there's 1,000 different ways that 1,000 different people think, and half of us don't think the same. And because I don't think with my human brain, I think on a spiritual level for the most part. That is why I can disassociate the emotional part from the reality of it, because I am vibing on a spiritual level. My frequency is on a spiritual frequency because I need to hear them. I need to see them. I need to communicate with them more than I need to hear, see, and communicate with y'all. I know how to do that. I've been doing that from the time I jumped out my mother's crotch, right? Humans, yeah, all day. Spirit, nah, I need to vibrate here. I know that keeps me out of mess. I know that they gonna talk to me all day, every day. I know that they gonna keep me guided and guarded at all times. Humans will lead you astray, right? My spirits, they're elevated. There's no room for that. So I'd rather do that than take the chances of the what ifs, the maybes, the could be's, the almosts, any of that. Because I know if they backgrounded, if they gave me a cosign on it, they got my back. However that turns out. Yeah, you can't assume. You gotta ask them for their intuition, their guidance, and their discernment. You cannot assume anything in this. That causes you to get jacked. Hi, Amy. That's where you no assumptions. Because remember, you're still human, right? You have not been able to separate the human from the spirit, so you're dealing in emotions. Spirit is not emotional. Spirit doesn't deal in emotions. That's why it comes off so harsh sometimes, because it's the facts. This is what it is. I don't have time to sit here and primp and all of that kind of stuff. This is what it is. Do this. This saves you. This moves past everything. This makes sure that you are right. When you're dealing in the emotional part of it, you're thinking too much. I don't need you to think on this. I need you to say, does A plus B then get followed by C? Yes. I didn't ask you what happens when I get to Z. You're thinking too much. I told you to get from A and B and then you'll get to C. We haven't even gotten to Z yet. Don't rush it. Go with what I said do. Stay here. When we fix this, when we master this, then we can go over there. Until we finish this, don't you look in that direction. Stay here. I'll tell you when it's time for you to go there. I didn't make no moves. I haven't made any moves until my spirit tell me now it's time for you to do that. I can be told everything underneath the sun as far as what I was supposed to be when I came here, right? They told me everything. I was like, okay. Do you think for 1 second that I went out there and was like, all right, I'm going to be cleaning people. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing... No. Because I still now have to learn that when I'm doing spiritual cleansings, right, I am not doing a goddamn thing except for holding whatever they told me to hold, right? I am allowing my vessel to be what is used as the vehicle for my spirits who do the cleanings, right? If I'm not grounded, if I'm not balanced, how am I cleaning you and protecting myself? I'm not. They got to have me to a point where whatever I take off of you, they take it. They discard it. It don't touch here. I'm clean at the end of that. I'm not transferring nothing from you to me, and I'm not transferring nothing from me to you. They are standing in between me and you and your spiritual problem, and they snatching. If it's a person, they snatching it. If it's a spirit, they snatching it. If it's an energy, they snatching it. Whatever's there, they cleaning it up and they taking care of it. Right? So if I'm not grounded, if I'm not balanced, if I'm not clean, if I'm not in tune, if I'm not solid, I'm messing myself up. Even in reading, you guys, when I open up a space, and this is why I say two elevated ancestors. Say none of your ancestors are elevated. And they all just a rusty, dusty bunch of ancestors. Because some of us have just a bunch of rusty dusties, right? And we open up space and light and water. You think that they won't come try to say something? They absolutely would. Why would they not? It's light and water that they're not getting from anywhere else. Can we trust the information that they give? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Which is why, as the intuitive, I have my security detail standing there saying the only people that can pass information this way are those that come in light and spirit and truth. Right? I might be able to hear your people, but I can damn sure hear mine because they the ones talking to me. They don't even allow your people to get that close to me unless they are elevated that much for me to be able to hear them. Other than that, for me, it's like they're standing on a fence trying to talk over the fence while I can hear them from a distance, and then my people are telling me what's what. Hey, Nori. People that start this out think that your energy should be like you should be able to just tap into and touch and communicate with and let this person's spirits come to you. No. Those are your spirits. They're not my spirits. They shouldn't be able to touch me that close. They're not mine. They don't have access to me that way. Mine have access to me that way. Yours must communicate with mine. That's like, I want you to introduce you to my friend. Yeah, well, who's your friend? Well, you got to meet this one first. That's them, security detail. You don't just get to the Secret Service. You got to get past them. This ain't the White House and I'm not Trump. I got real Secret Service. They patting you down. They checking your nose. They checking your pockets. They checking all that. Now I get dreams about things that take place on what event will happen. Yes, and you've got to pay attention to your dreams because for the most part, that's the start of communication, right? That's the easiest time for your guides and your ancestors to reach you is when you're sleeping. So that'll be most of the time that you'll get a lot of your dreams and a lot of your messages. Journaling your dreams is a big thing. A lot of times in the beginning, I used to just jot down my dreams, and then I started using my voice recorder to remember my dreams, because once I get up and my head moves and I start moving around for the day, the dream goes. So I had to keep the voice recorder app on my cell phone on my nightstand, so when I do have a dream, if it's one of those dreams that is going quick, before I get up, I gotta just reach over, do the quick voice record so that I can remember it later, because it's usually a message in a dream. Normally, I get a lot of calls because I astral travel, right? A lot of us travel in our sleeps, right? So I'll be in different people's dreams and different people's stuff, giving them messages, and I'm never alone, right? When I astral travel, I got a spirit with me, gang, all day. I'm not even doing that by myself, right? Because that's dangerous. People try to attack you in the astral all the time. I'm not going in there by myself. I don't care if I'm sleeping. I got somebody coming in there with me too. Facts. You don't gotta sleep by yourself. I got specific guys, even in the prayers that I give to my ancestors, is guide me in my sleep. All day. Things will try to come to you in your sleep and fashion itself as something else. And it's a trickster energy. And that's not really what it looks like to get you to follow or chase or anything like that. I remember a time I had a dream 2 years ago, right? And it was a warning of something to come. But there was a shapeshifter spirit that they sent into this dream, right? And they made it take the vision of my mother, right? And when I tried to go to the spirit, she would run away from me. So I'm like, yo, why the fuck is my mother running from me? This shit don't make no sense. So I'm chasing her. You know what the bitch did? The bitch got me trapped. She trapped me. She trapped me in a place so that the enemy could get to me. It was a trap. They led me into a trap, right? Because of the programming, right? This is programming that you got to do. You got to talk to yourself enough to Ori-Geo, your Ori, everything, that even in your sleep state, you are conscious and cognizant enough to get you out of harm's way. That you are conscious and cognizant enough to call on your spiritual help. You can still call on your spiritual help in your sleep. You got to program yourself to not fear. Right? You got to program yourself to pay attention. You got to program yourself to look for the tricks, look for the traps, look for everything, right? In that moment, I called on everything I had. Everybody I had, because they had me cubby holes underneath some stairs, right? In some old wooden buildings that were like in the 1900s, when they just started building houses and building, and there were no cement yet. Everything was wood, right? So I could see through a crack in where I went to hide the other spirits that was looking for me. So I asked for, like, cloak me until I could get out of here. When they cloaked me and they couldn't see me, and the spirits, one went this way, I jetted and ran out the other way. That was only through them that they allowed, I called them, all of them. They turned their roads around so that they went the opposite directions from where I was, and I was able to get out of there. What did I learn from that dream? Your spirits, your family members, your loved ones, those that are there for good, won't make you chase them. Why would someone that's in your dream for your good, that you trust, that trusts you, why would you have to chase them? You've got to pay attention. There are tricky things that go on when you're sleeping, right, to set you up. in that interim, what would it have done to me? I don't know what they were attempting to do other than harm me. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know no further than that. Somebody out here trying to pigeonhole me and try to get me into a trap. What does that mean? That means I need a reading now. That means I need to cleanse. That means I need to pay attention to the people that I'm associating with. I gotta look at everything and everybody right now. Right? Everything and everybody gets looked at this point. Who's trying to trap me up into something? It was the godmother at the time. I didn't know. The dream told me. Somebody trying to set you up. The mother figure was because they know that if I see my mother, I'm going to go for my mother. So they used her image. But when she ran, I was supposed to know my mother wouldn't run from me on no level. That's not how. Why would she run from me? It doesn't make any sense. But you're not thinking. You're going to chase, right? That's the normal human thing to do. Well, if this person's, let me go chase and see where they go. No. Spiritual smarts means don't do that. What I'm doing in my dream, and I always go to the heights where I was born and raised. But what's the purpose? You're going over there to fly and do what? What are you looking for? What are you seeing? What's the bird's eye view giving you? Right? What are you missing in your life that at that time you had that you're looking for again? That you wake up, you feel peaceful and you feel happy. Was it a time in your life that you were peaceful and happy that you need to get out of doing certain things that you've forgotten about? No, I don't know times like 310s and all that other kind of stuff. My spirits don't communicate with me that way. So I don't know what a 310 would mean. Did anything happen to you on the 3rd? What's that? March 10th? Around March the 10th? Does the date or the number mean anything to you? You ever try playing that number? See what comes out? See what happens? Spirit will give you numbers in your dreams too. Did she need you to save her from someone? No, that's why I don't understand. I don't know what 310 means, baby. Did you ever look it up to see what 310 means? In spirit numbers, like dreams 310, if you type it in. Like none of my dreams have no purpose, right? There's always a purpose when I'm dreaming because my spirit is moving, right? If I'm not grounded, if I'm not balanced or things like that, in those times I don't really dream because I have, you see I wear a bunch of stuff, right? I don't wear all of these when I sleep, but some of them in times when I'm not grounded to keep me from astral traveling, because I don't need to travel if I'm not grounded. I don't need to travel if there's spiritual battles that are ahead of me or things that are going on, or if I'm fighting to protect other people, because you guys got to remember that when you walk the spiritual walk and y'all start doing stuff to help other people, you become a target, right? People don't want you to help nobody. They want their work to work on that person. And when you step out to help that person, you become a target, right? So if you're not grounded, if you don't have your spiritual protection in line, then you could get hit. You've got to make sure that you are protected when you step out to help people, so that those hits that they throw don't hit you. It'll be something that'll bother you or irritate you, but it don't hit you the way that that person threw it. That should be like, ah. That's because you've done things the right way. You've taken the proper steps, and your people have, they got your back, right? Your troop, your clan, your gang, your court, your ancestors, your Egun, your Egbe, your people, your Orisha, your Congo, all of them, Yonkisi, all of them got your back. They told you it is time. That means that you have set up the levels of protection around you that are so impenetrable that it doesn't matter who you help. If I tell you to go help that person, I don't care who they go to, and they throw it this way, you're going to be here to give another live tomorrow. by throwing 3-pointed metal blades to it. I dreamt with a portal that was open, and a man was trying to save me by throwing 3-pointed metal blades to it. So weird. No, it ain't weird. Be careful with opening portals in your house. Them throwing blades through a portal is them trying to catch something before it try to slide his ass out of that portal and come in there and mess with you. That's not weird. Be mindful of your portals. Be mindful of your doorways. Be mindful of the things that you are opening, and if you're working for other people, be mindful of the doorways that they have open. They're protecting you from something that's trying to come through, something that's open that should not be. I had a similar dream, and the man was my uncle, and he passed a few months after. Be careful. Thank you, Amy. Be very, very careful. That's not a, oh, it's weird. That's a protective measure that's being taken. When I hear, you lucky you sleep, I will be awake and they'll throw something and it'll hit my wall, and I know what it is because of the way it hit, and when I look, they'll knock it down in my house, right? So I know when they throw it that they throwing it at somebody. Nothing falls in here, nothing gets thrown in here, nothing hits a wall in here, none of that kind of stuff if they didn't do it, right? So if they're doing it, that means that there's something that it hit. Yeah. So you need to make sure that if you don't keep light constant for your ancestors, you need to make sure that you give them a little bit more light in this time. You need to make sure that you're checking your water to make sure that it's not getting murky, and that you're changing it so that they have a clear conduit. You need to make sure that you're doing all of the smoking of your house, the spiritual cleansing that you're supposed to be doing, to make sure that they have what they need in order to keep you safe and protected. And in this time, if you are doing spiritual works, I suggest that you make sure that you consult with them before you take on anything else, before you add anything else, before you help anyone else, before you open yourself up to others. You need to make sure that it is safe for you to work this particular job. There is no job that I take spiritually that I don't divine on to see if they are willing to take it, if it is safe for me to take it, if it is okay for me to take it, because people don't always give you the full story on something. They'll tell you just enough that they think you need to hear. Well, my people will be sitting back there saying, she ain't telling you everything. She got 17 altars. It's not just 3. And in those altars, she did some work against this. And I'm not saying you. She did some work. I'm talking about people that you go to help. She did some work against somebody, and that work is coming back to bite her. In that instance, you don't step in there to help that. She got to reap that. She sowed that. She got to get that back. Now, after it hits her, if she learned, they might let you help her. If she did not learn and she's trying to double down and go harder on the stuff she did, they'll tell you to back up and let her catch her ass whipping because she didn't learn when they just brushed her chin the first time. She was supposed to get her nose broke. They brushed her chin to give her a warning and see what she was going to do. She doubled down. Step out of it and let her get her ass handed to her. Be mindful on the jobs you take. You can't take on everybody. You can't accept everything. If your squad does not say it is sanctioned, it is safe, it is okay, and we got you covered, fall back. It can be to a point where you're with someone, they get an elbow to do, they're covered for that elbow. You go and you're there on that day, you're like, oh, I want to help. You're not covered on that elbow. It doesn't matter that the person that they're doing it in light, but they're covering them. The elbow wasn't prescribed for you. You mind your business. Come up out of that. You'll get sick or get fucked up stepping in to somebody else's stuff. I've seen it. Man, that's not good. Ask your ancestors if that man is really protected. I learned from design. They will snitch. Yes, you gotta ask who he is, right? So I have grandma been sick for a while, but she been declining for the past 2 days. She bleeding heavy, so in the hospital these past days, feeling spirit shadow from side eye, knocking, and also you're not. Tell me you cleaned yourself when you came out the hospital. Tell me you cleaned yourself when you came out of the hospital. And then grandma's sickness, is she elderly? This is not a sudden sickness. She's elderly and she's been sick for a while. When you saw the vision of the bowl of blood, right? What was your first thought that meant? When they you ain't go to the hospital. No, she didn't clean herself. She did. Wait. She did what? So you've been so you're not in the hospital seeing the spirits. You're seeing the shadows and stuff in your house. My grandma went, but I didn't go with. So she's not still in the hospital. She's home. Was she sickly, or was this sudden? Where you think someone did something, or you think that you need to do an ebo for your grandma? I need you to tell me the energy that you felt. You saw the blood in the bowl. What was your thought? What did you feel? What did your gut tell you? Right? This is how we decipher these dreams. In those moments, right? When I see something like that, if it is me, right, I've got to base it on what was the scenario, right? I saw the blood on the floor. It was in a bowl. What color was the bowl? Did I see a bird? What was around the bowl? Were there people there? What were they dressed in? What were we doing? Did I see any animals? Did I see somebody in a shadow form that I couldn't see that looked like it was something nefarious going on? I need more for you to, because you're spiritual, so you should be making these. No, she at the hospital, but I'm not at the hospital. So you're seeing these shadows and stuff in your house. I told y'all before, I don't play with shadows. If it should be here, I should be able to see it. I don't play that shadow shit. If I catch it from the side of my eye, they better show me what it was really quickly, or else I'm spazzing. I'm calling everybody to wake up and go get it. You're not allowed to shadow me. You're not allowed to just cloak and hook. No, if it pops up, I better be able to see it and identify it, or it's not welcome here. Somebody better get up and go drag it out of here. Somebody better get up and hold it off and figure out what it was. Like a palangana. I would say grandma needs a reading. I would get grandma a reading to find out what it is, because that palangana, we use that when we're feeding sometimes, right? And it could be that she needs to feed in order to keep herself here, right? There could be something that's spiritually done to remove and give her some more time. Whatever's there may not be so much of a medical issue. It could be something that is spiritual in nature. When you see a bowl of blood, remember, blood is the life force. Blood is the offering. When we use those silver palanganos, those bowls, we usually put the birds and stuff in that, or feed in that, or something to that nature when we're giving sangre to something, right? An energy, a force, or something like that, a life force. And those things are done as ebos to placate death, so that death doesn't take us. If there's an illness, there's an orisha or an energy that's willing to step forth and take the illness to make sure that this person is clean. But in the interim, you're going to get information on what she needs to change about her life, whatever's going on with her, how she picked it up, if somebody sent it, any of those types of things. But a divination must be done. Something like that where blood is involved, and she's physically ill. I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting here telling you, oh, off of what spirit said. No, divination must be done for something like that. That is too serious for a tarot, anything. Too serious. And then especially if the diagnosis that was given from the hospital was like, we don't really know, she's just, hemorrhaging blood and we don't really know why, you absolutely need to go to spiritual route. Absolutely. That's your next step. They need to tell you what's going on. Ask everything, assume nothing. It's too serious of a thing for you to sit on it and not figure it out. She's got cancer. Doesn't mean that there still can't be something done to help smooth over what she's experiencing in this time. Something that's going to make her just a little bit more comfortable during this time. Also, you want to make sure that you keep your ancestors lit. You keep them energy flowing to them, because if it is her time, you want to make sure that they have enough strength to guide her in her transition, right? She needs to have her paperwork in order. She needs to have everything in order. And this is, you got to take the human part out of it for a moment. Understand that when we leave this life, we're no longer in pain. We're no longer experiencing those things. Yes, she should get a reading. Yes, she should get a reading. Absolutely. Absolutely. She should have a reading. You want the answers. And I would suggest it be an E5 reading at that. You know what I mean? I want the witness to creation, the witness to destiny to tell me what's happening with her. Specifics. If it's like, and go in there prepared to, if it's her time, it's her time, right? The warning is telling me that there's something that can be done. We don't get messages if it's nothing that's to be done. They would have showed you her in a box. They didn't show you that. They showed you a palangano with blood in it. That's a sacrifice or offering of some sort. There's something that you can do. And it's not going to grant her, 1,000 more years of life, but it can be something that will help to clean up some of what's going on, whereas it may not very well be her time, but there's something that we can do, right? Yes, get on that ASAP. Thank you, baby. Any other questions? Oh shit, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna be on here all night. It's been about 3 hours. I think I'm about finished. If y'all got some questions, throw them up real quick. If not, I'm out of here. I'll try to come back another day. I'll put up another. I still have the thing in my story. I think about spiritual questions. If you have any, ask them. Y'all know I'll be going off of that list and taking your questions and coming here to give y'all the answer. So it's not like I'm just here ranting. I'm just gonna be answering, what y'all need to know. That it makes it a little bit more flowy for us, and it gives you guys a little bit more answers. I want you to have the answers and the information so that you guys can start working and doing the stuff that you're supposed to do for your elevation and your connection with your spirit guys, because without them, I'm lost. You know what I'm saying? Without your spiritual court, you're lost. Without your ancestors, you're lost. They know the way. They know the route. They know how to get there. They know what to use to maneuver. I need them to tell me at all times. So I am 1,000% in communication with them as much as I can be on a daily basis. You guys have got to get into the habit of, listen, 30 minutes a day is not a lot of time for you to ask, for you to go around and deal with your court, your guides, your ancestors. If someone is trying to work against you, you should just let karma work, or you reverse the energy if you know they are trying to sabotage. If someone is working against you, depends on how are they working. Are they lifting their hands to physically go to someone to do work, right? They lighting candles, they doing tongues, they doing that kind of stuff. I'm not letting know. I'm going to my people, right? And I'm telling them, like, if it's a novice and they're doing this kind of stuff, that shit don't go nowhere, right? I've done so much work, and my people are so elevated that they see it before it comes and they smack it, right? It doesn't even reach me, right? But if I know that my goal is to strengthen them. So if I know that somebody's doing something to me, I clean myself, right? I could talk to my ancestors. I talk to my spiritual court, my spiritual team. Normally they'll tell me like, just go take a bath. We already took care of it. I'm cleaning off the energy to remove any muck and guck, right? When you take these spiritual baths, it's like a little, they put you in a little spiritual bubble to bounce some of them spiritual energies off you. It bounces it off, right? Some little stick, the big pieces miss, right? The big stuff rolls off. You do it enough times, that stuff, the novices, the little candle, that shit don't go nowhere. You know why? Because nobody knows that they should be calling on some spirit to work these candles. They be lighting these candles and they think, oh, I could ask for this to happen to her. The reality of the situation is, if they don't have a spirit that's agreed to do the work with this candle, that shit ain't going nowhere anywhere. It's causing a little bit of havoc, but it ain't doing nothing, right? You know why? Nobody's assigned to work with that. That's causing chaos in their own house. That's causing chaos in their own life, and it's opening up the door for them to get their ass beat. So if you were to do a reversal in that instance, that means the spirit has told you, no, go ahead and do a quick reversal. You only do a reversal if they've lifted their hands to do something. Word of mouth, no. They told somebody something, no. If they did not lift their hands spiritually, and I mean, they done went and took a candle, they done wrote your name, they done said your name, they done did all this stuff, they done glittered it up and all that other kind of foolishness that they doing now with candles, and then they go light it. They don't know their ancestors, they don't know their spiritual core, they don't know none of these people. So they're hiring hitmen. Hitmen are not loyal. You know who's loyal? Your ancestors. You know who's loyal? Your spiritual court. You know what happens? That hitman gets wrangled by your spiritual court and your ancestors. Now, your ancestors have a couple of choices. They can whip his ass, right? They can drag him off, or they can make him repent, right? They can force him to tell them all of the things that he was supposed to do to you. All of it, all of it, all of it. Once he says that, he has a choice to elevate or not. If he chooses to elevate, they'll take him off to where he needs to go to answer for all of the things that this spirit has done, right? If he chooses not to elevate, they drag him someplace else where nobody can find him. That's what happens when you hire a hitman. Or the ancestors could get that hitman, offer him something more, and send him back over there to fuck with the person that sent it to you in the first place. He'll take the deal and go back over there and tear their life apart. You know why? They opened the door. They started it off. They hired him. He has no loyalty to them. And he knows that over here, you got a team over here that's ready to bring the pain. He don't want the pain. Not only does he not want the pain, he don't want to elevate it. So he'd be like, you know what I'll do? I'll go over there and tear their life apart. Your ancestors sometimes be like, go ahead, go back over there and tear their life apart, but you better not come back over here. They showed him what's in store for him if he come back over here. He won't come back over there and bother you. So there's differences in how that works. The bottom line is, if your team is strong enough, novices can't get to you. If your team is strong enough and it's someone who's not a novice, they're still going to lead you to the right person that can take care of that work for you. Bottom line is, ancestors first. They're the ones who are going to lead you to all the help that you're going to need in a safe fashion. It's not always about throw something back. Sometimes that shit ain't go nowhere anyway. They got air balls for days. The ancestors are not worrying about their air balls, but they are taking notes to see how many air balls they throw. And then they'll get to the point where they'll go to that person's people and be like, get them. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and then they'll take them down themselves. There's 1,000 different ways that can go, but the best way to go is to have your people strong enough to combat anything that comes your way. And in that instance, I always say, that's the point where if you have other spirit guides that are back there, that's about that action, that's when the ancestors will open the door and you'll have a dream, or you'll have a reading, or you'll have something come up that there's another energy coming out of your spiritual court that you did not know was there, that is about that action. That's when they step forward and be like, oh yeah, I'm here too. What happened? And they'll take care of it for you. So don't get so happy with doing reversals. If that person didn't pick up their hand and do nothing in the reversal, it's pointless. If you know that they did something and the ancestors sanction it, go ahead and do the reversal, then by all means you do the reversal. But you got to know that they did something, otherwise you're not reversing anything except for your own thoughts. That does nothing. We'll waste time and energy and money and candles and all that other kind of stuff. We got to get to a place where we realize that everybody ain't gonna like us. They don't always throw at us. You know what I mean? They may not just like us, and that's okay because people don't gotta like you. But just don't bother me. You can stay over there, I'll stay over here, and everything will be fine. Don't cross my boundaries, I won't cross yours, and everything's okay. You come across here, it's going down. All the way down. We don't start smoke and just for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta know that you did something. Once I know you did something, it's on and cracking. If I think you did it, I'm gonna go ask, did she? And then I'm gonna ask, what did she do? Show me. Tell me. They'll usually show me. They'll usually, if I got an inkling that somebody does, they're gonna show. I'll get a quick pitch, I'll get it to the point where I get straight pictures burnt in the sides. Like, you know how you always see somebody do some candle magic, some candle shit. Let me tell you something. It'll be a plain candle. I didn't add nothing to the candle. I just cleaned the candle when I got the candle. I make sure I clean all my candles when I get my candles, right? I use this. My sister sells this rudimental spray. This stays. I clean all my candles with this spray, right? When I bring them in from the stores, I clean them off before I put them in the shelf, right? That candle's wax will burn. If I was sitting in front of one of my energies one day and somebody was doing something. He showed me the pic in the candle. You can see the image of the dude doing the stuff, right? I can see the image. So when I looked at it, he showed it to me. It was like I zoomed in on it and it showed me the person and exactly what they were doing. When I zoomed back off the candle, I can see the burning of it, but it was just that quick that it was like, this is what he did. Bang, bang. I know this motherfucker did something. You just showed it to me. Not only did you show it to me in the candle, you zoomed me in on it to show me the person like in IRL. I was like, oh, okay. That meant now I got to do a divination. Now I got to figure out how much it is. Okay, this is what I got to, all right, this is what you do there. So because we already seen it, because he did it this way, do this. I did that. That's it. Go sit down. I let them tell me. I let them lead me. I let them show me. You know what I'm saying? If I think it, I'm going to ask. I'll take a note. Tell me, nah, they ain't do that. I'll go sit down somewhere. But I'm going to check it first. I'm not a hothead, and I'm not one that rushes to do anything. I don't rush. No. Rushing gets you run into something. Go too slow, something run into you. I'll go at the pace that they tell me to go at. I move when they tell me to move. Not before, not after. When you tell me to move, you tell me to move. You give me a certain amount of days to do something. That's another thing. When I get readings and there's ebos and stuff to do and there's work that I got to do, I don't wait until whatever days to do it. I'm on that shit like white on rice. When I get a reading today, if I have half of that stuff tomorrow, bitch, I'm doing it tomorrow. Right? If I don't got it tomorrow and I got to order the stuff, bitch, I'm ordering it tomorrow. Right? I need my ebos done ASAP. You gave me the information now. That means I need to do it now. I'm not waiting. You tell me I could do this, and this. I guarantee you within a week's time, unless I need somebody else to help me come in here and do something, this, and this is done within a week's time. I move like nobody's business when it comes to spirit, especially when it comes to my protection, especially when it comes to my safety, especially when it comes to my cleansing, my balancing, and me being on target. If I am solid and I am stable and I am grounded and I am balanced, the strongest wind can not keep me from my most appreciated wishes and desires and deserves. You can't shake and or rock this. It's mine. Custom made for me. And because it's custom made for me, they gonna make sure that I get it. Why? Because I listened to them. Why? Because they showed me what it was going to be. Why? Because I didn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. Why? Because I asked every question. I crossed my T's and I dotted my I's and I left nothing to chance. right? I left nothing to speculation, and I left nothing for my brain to create other than what the fuck they told me to do. That's it. I didn't add no salt. I didn't add no extras. I ain't asked for nobody to die. None of that kind of stuff. Y'all got to remember, you're asking for reversals. How do you ask for reversal? Well, whatever it is that they asked for me, have them receive exactly what they asked for back. They wanted it for me. Serve it to them. They requested this. I did not. The universe heard them. You heard their request. Give them what they ask for. Give them based on their merits and their actions. Give them based on their desires and their asks. Give them based on what they've sown. I do not request revenge. I ask for justice. Those are different energies. You've got to know that if words have powers and words have spells, then you have to know how to ask for the things that you deserve, which is justice, not vengeance. I don't need vengeance. Vengeance is not mine. Vengeance is God's. He will take his vengeance upon those who do things wrong. I simply want justice. Justice is owed to me. I deserve justice. I act and live my life in a just way. So why should I not have it? My spirits make sure that I receive it. Justice, not vengeance. That means that I'm coming from a place of difference, right? I'm not coming from a place of ill will or harm or negativity or any of those things. And that does not sully my hands. That does not dirty my spirit. And that does not tarnish me. I am allowed to have justice because you did it. Not me. I was minding my business. You go to the court of law, you ask for justice. You ask for child support. You ask for all these other kind of things. And they're supposed to grant you justice based on your merits, based on your case, based on what you've done, based on this, what the other person has done, right? I want justice. This is my court. Spirit court. They like justice. Vengeance is not operating from a place of vibrating higher. Vengeance is vibrating off of a low frequency. Justice is a different ballgame. I can still vibrate as high as I need to vibrate and request justice because I'm owed that. There's a difference in the way that you speak to spirit. There's a difference in the way that you communicate with spirit. Can you ask for justice years after something has happened? No, you should be over it at this point. If you didn't touch it when it was, well, wait, what kind of justice are we talking about? Right? What are we talking about? If we're talking about something that happened to you as a child, right? And this person's a dirty, and I'm talking about molestation, abuse, that kind of stuff, right? And they're still out there being predators. In that instance, you can ask for justice, but there's a way that you ask for it. There's a way that you ask for justice and making sure that this person is no longer allowed to harm anyone else. Make them receive back all of the pain that they have given to others by causing these actions that they've done to other people. I need to receive justice in knowing that this person is not able to harm anyone else. I need to receive justice in knowing that I didn't go through this for nothing. That this, and in receiving this justice, you've learned something, right? Because you can't ask for justice for something that has happened years ago and you haven't done anything to fix the parts that were shattered and torn or broken or damaged, right? It's not coming from a proper place if you haven't dealt with the repercussions of the actions that that person has placed upon you. There's forgiveness that must be given, right? And you don't have to forgive the person that's harmed you. You got to forgive the part of yourself that you feel responsible and broken. that you were put in that position, that this happened to you, because there's always a time and a place where one blames themselves for not speaking out, not being heard, all of the things that really wasn't your fault. You feel guilty for that. If you can release all of those things, then in a sense, you're living and prospering and being able to grow beyond what the things that have been done to you have left upon you. That in a sense is justice for you. I received 2 spiritual attacks from 2 different people within the past 2 years when I was just trying to help them in life. They're going to get their justice. You don't have to ask for justice for that. That was 2 years ago. That was years ago, right? Your justice comes in cutting off you from helping them, right? They get a spiritual tab just like everybody else, right? I'm coming from a place of spirit of truth, and I came here to help you, and you decided to be a jackass. This happened to me 1,000 times. I cut them off. What happens to them? If you watch what's going on in their lives, they ain't doing shit. They're not growing spiritually. They're plummeting. Literally plummeting, right? The ashe that they had is being chiseled away bit by bit. The elevation that they were acquiring is at a standstill, and it's actually taking steps back, right? You watch people destroy themselves. I do it all the time. I step back from them and know that if I came here to help you and you spit in my face and I remove myself and you take it upon yourself to throw at me, first and foremost, you are getting that back. It doesn't matter. For me to allow you into my sacred space for help means that my energies allowed you and were willing to help you. When you go against that, not only are you spitting in my face, you're spitting in their face as well. Spirits communicate with spirits, right? They also keep a tab of how many spaces and how much spiritual, dirty, wicked, nasty, grimy shit people have done. And that always comes back to them. So it is not in our time to say when this person should get them back. You just sit back and wait. Don't preoccupy yourself with thinking about when this person's going to get it. It's like a quick out of the blue present that comes from the cosmos when you hear or see that this person has gotten their ass handed to them. It's a gift. I'd be like, oh, that was nice. Thanks, universe. She got it back. She deserved it back. I didn't have to do anything but remove myself, remove the help, tell, because I tell all the time. Y'all see what she did? Y'all seen that, right? Okay. Who's tab? Y'all wrote it down? Okay. Just make sure that the universe is aware that this one is going to leave a sullied mark. It's going to come back. It never not misses. I've never seen it miss. And they will sit there in front to the high heavens that they are prospering. And they love to say, oh, watch me eat. You're not even eating. Spirituality is not about you eating off of spirit. Like, these readings, you shouldn't be able to get rich off of readings. You shouldn't be able to get rich off of spiritual baths. You shouldn't be able to get rich off of guiding people to do things right. You should be comfortable, not rich at all. You should be able to pay your spirits for the work that they did in this, buy their little bottles, their little cigars, and all of that other kind of stuff. That's it. Thank you. I have done work to let it go, heal, and release. It's only that you mentioned justice that I asked. One attack got me sectioned in the mental hospital from my own cousin. So did that teach you that spiritually you need more work for you to build? See, these things, when I say things happen for a reason, that just means that you were trying to help them and you weren't ready. Your protections weren't in place enough for you to discern that this person is you got to watch them, right? Sometimes people will come with the most story in the beginning and you'll be like, oh, this person is cool, but in the middle of that, you've caught wind of certain things that they've done that should have told you to pump your brakes just a little bit. My spirits do it all the time. It'll be something that person says that tells on themselves, and it makes you look a little bit closer at them. Then you start watching how they move, and you notice that they in this for the money. They're not really that spiritual. They don't want to really learn. They want to skip steps. They like the attention of it all. They don't really want to work. They know that they need to grow, but they like to have their ass out. Spirit, like, no, they're not with that, right? They want you to do, like, your lessons are to teach you so that you grow and change and evolve and do things differently, right? So what do I need to do? If the first hit can get me jacked up and in the mental institution, I'm not balanced enough, because that shouldn't have hit me like that. I need more protection. I need more spiritual work done for myself before I open myself up to somebody else. That first hit could hit me so hard that I land like that on my head. That's the lesson for you. Let it go. Know that there's work that must be done on you. People that are spiritual in nature, that are a little bit too close to spirit sometimes, have to take a lot more precautions with their mental state of being, because you're an easy target and you're easier to hit. Yeah, but you also need to do a little bit, like your head cleansings, you constant. Body cleansing, constant. House cleansing, constant. If you are already on a slippery slope, right, that thing was able to hit you so easily, then it should be just a little bit more at the, sometimes you need more, right? Cleaning our heads, right? I always tell people the herb baths and all that stuff, we clean our heads with that all day, every day. But if you can't get to that basic cleansings for your heads, that you could, there's no limit to the number of white washes you can do on your head, right? 3 egg whites, cascarilla or effum, basil, fresh tap water, 3 brown coconuts, the water from 3 brown coconuts. All of that into a bowl, right? You pray over it. You put your spiritual music on. You light a candle. You do your glass of water. You pray to your ancestors while you're making this concoction, and you're praying for it to cleanse you, to balance you, to keep your head clear, to keep your head connected with the heavens, to make sure that your aura is balanced, to make sure that you are in alignment with the heavens, right? To make sure that your head stands tall and your feet stay planted. These are the things that you do. You can do your head. You can wash your head 7 days a week if you have to. We do what we have to when we have to keep us balanced and cleansed, right? Connecting with your ancestors is knowing who they were. If mental illness ran in your family, you need to know that you might want to keep the ones that had the mental illness that died just a little bit back, and the ones that are elevated that had no mental issues, those are the ones you want at the forefront until they can get a hold on those back there and have them clean up some of that mess, right? If we have a mental illness in our families, remember, this is generational DNA bloodline stuff that will transition into us. So this is why we got to know where we came from, so that connecting with all ancestors all the time is not always good. We got to know who's back there, so that if there is mental illness, they got to stay on the other side of that veil and only talk to Big Mama. Big Mama's not going to let those with the mental illnesses through. Some of them are not safe. If they died in mental facilities and things of that nature, and they never got to get their minds cleared, then when they died, they were still like that. If they haven't chosen to elevate, they could still be like that. We don't call through everybody, right? Prudent and benevolent ancestors, elevated under the guise of, under Olodumare, Olofi, God, the Most High, whatever you call that higher force of light, right? That higher being that has... we're all connected to. It's got to fall underneath that umbrella. And then we go from there. Be very careful. Clean your heads. Clean your bodies. Don't bite off more than you can chew. If you are not feeling balanced, if you have mental issues, the last thing that you should be doing is trying to take on someone else's problems when you are not grounded and balanced enough to handle what comes with that. Protection first. Let your ancestors tell you that it is time and you are able and they are ready for you to take those next steps. Without that, you could be stepping into harm's way if you are not grounded yourself. Everything that I always tell you guys to do is from a protective standpoint, right? In seeing people do too much and get hurt, and doing people go too far and skip too many steps, and think that they should be rushing, where in the line you were supposed to be doing these things, but you went too fast. There were some more things that needed to be done, and in the interim, they started throwing at you here. So Yeah, you're supposed to go there, but the part of them throwing at you is for you to learn your limitations. It's for you to learn the balance. It's for you to learn when to stop, when to pause, and when to go. It's for you to learn that, okay, I know I'm supposed to go there, but right now, me dealing with this now teaches me how to handle myself when something is thrown for future reference, right? With the things that I can do to clean it up for future reference, right? These are things that are stockpiled into your notes that help you forward with the people that you're supposed to be helping in the future. Now you know the remedy because you've taken the time to pause when it hit to figure out the fixes and the cleansings and all of that other kind of stuff, right? You got that underneath your belt. Gives you another level of protection, another layer of protection, so that the next time, now you're at a better standing point, right? You're at another place, another plateau you've reached in your spiritual walk, so that because you will come across somebody throwing at you again. Well, you've been thrown at before. You know what to do now. People are stronger now. Your ancestors are stronger now. You still working. All of that stuff is building. You're feeding them. You're elevating them. All of that kind of stuff. More your spiritual team has stepped forward. Now you got more of a barrier between them and you. They're catching it before it hits you. This is the things that we go through for us to learn how to deal going forward when we step into the situations of working with other spiritual people, helping people that need spiritual work, the readings, the cleanings, all of that other kind of stuff. It protects us. Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. The application of the knowledge, the understanding, and the wisdom is what keeps you safe and allows you to keep moving. There are times when we got to sit still, right? Those are our learning moments. Those are our processing moments. Those are our just sit back and watch this for a second moments. Things don't always happen in the times and in the way that we want them. We've got to be patient and know that spirit time and our time is different. And sometimes you got to let them bob and use their weaves and just trust that what they're doing is working for you. Without your blind faith in them, without that blind trust, then you are allowing the enemy space and access to infiltrate what you're working on with them. When I give my spirit something to do, when they tell me something that they're going to do, I don't care if it takes 30 days or 3 days. I don't question what they said. If it seems like there's something that's going a little bit to the left, I'll tap back in and say, all right, is there something else that I need to do? Did something happen? Did somebody try to stop it? It's either a yes or no. They'll usually tell me, yeah, do this. Or no, they did, but we ain't worried about it. Just give it a little bit more time. It's going to take us a little bit more time. And I'll go, okay. And I'll leave it at them. That does not make me think, oh, well, maybe it didn't work. Oh, well, no. I have trust and faith that when they gave me a yes, it's going to work out. It's not going to be in my time. I'll never know the time, and I'm not watching the time. When you watch the time, it's like you putting them on a clock. I'm not putting them on a clock. They said it. They used to tell us, you get a reading. That reading lasts for like 30 days. So if that means in 30 days, don't be looking for no quick changes. They got like 30 days in there before they make something happen. The more work you do, the faster that stuff will go, depending on what they're battling against. But normally, when I was coming up, what they told us, you get a reading that lasts 30 days. After that, you get another reading if you want to. But every 2 weeks, no. Every 3 weeks, no. The reading that you got within the last 30 days, if you ain't done half the stuff that you were supposed to be doing, don't get another reading until you complete that, so that spirit has something else to work from. We're not going to keep telling you the same things over and over again. And then if you don't do what we told you to do in a timely fashion, you goddamn right the remedy could change. Because the world is constantly changing. So don't think that we gave you a remedy 6 months ago. You never got to it. You forgot about the notes. And here you are 6 months later asking me, can I still? No, the answer is no. Now you got more to do. Because you missed the window of opportunity. And you missed the jump that we were giving you in that time to do it. And we wanted to see how important it was for you to make this move. It wasn't so important for you, right? So it's not so important for us to now make it move for you. Now you have to wait. This is the lesson and this is the learning. Lessons repeat until learned. in this walk every single time. Remember that. The faster you get the lessons, the faster you make changes accordingly, the faster you get to elevate, transition, and move forward in this spiritual thing. Please remember that. You are the source. It is all based on you, what you are doing, how much energy you are putting towards your spiritual growth and your spiritual elevation. Be mindful of what you're spending the most of your time on. Again, y'all got to find your gifts. You got to find your talents. You got to find what you are good at. Everybody is not meant to always work a 9 to 5, right? Not forever, right? Position yourself to have a secondary something, right? That allows your spirit to be free and work other than someplace out of the confines of your 9 to 5, which allows activity on both sides of your brain, not just the triggers on the parts that you work every day in your 9 to 5. Okay, but what about this side? There's no creativity. There's no love. There's no joy. There's no happiness. There's no outlet. Nothing. You got to turn that one on too. That's the balance of life. The work, the play, the enjoyment, the things that bring us joy, the things that bring us happiness, the things that bring us peace. Everybody wants, oh, I want to find love. I want to find love. You know what? I want peace. There was nothing like peace. Everything stems from peace. Love stems from peace, right? Abundance stems from peace. Learning stems from peace. If there's constant chaos, you can't get proper love because you can't love yourself because you're always in the worry state, right? You can't learn anything because you're always in another state. There's no calm. There's no nothing. You can't, if you're not at peace, nothing else comes. Peace is first. You don't even, if you're not at peace, hypertension, right? High blood pressure, what do you call that when you eat into comfort eating, all those kind of things, right? Escaping, drinking, smoking, all that kind of stuff to escape reality. That means that you're not at peace. You got to constantly be around people. You got to constantly have people in your face. You got to constantly be in groups. You got to constantly be around. That means you have no peace. I can sit by myself for days and not talk to nobody but my spirits because I'm at peace. Sometimes I don't want to talk to people. Y'all be stressing me out. I don't want to talk to y'all because I'm at peace by myself. Me and my spirits, we be chilling. We cool. I know what I need to do for me. I know the stuff that goes on around here. I know what I need to be doing. My peace gets interrupted when somebody comes with some dumb shit and they don't want to listen. I'll give you the information, and as soon as you don't want to listen to the information, I'm off you. You're not going to disrupt my peace because I'm trying to help you when you don't want to listen. It's deuces for me. You could feel that, oh, I abandoned you. I didn't birth you, so I can't abandon you. Stop it. Right? Everybody's responsible for their own shit, right? If I'm moving and you not moving and I done told you 4 times to move, on that 5th time, I'm not telling you no more. And I'm also not going to help you when you scrape your knee. I'm going to sit there and tell you, but did you learn your lesson? And I'm going to make you repeat to me the lessons that you learned to see if you really got it. Now, if you repeat it again, don't talk to me no more. No me conoce. Don't call my name. You don't know me. I'm not playing. All the way deuces out. Y'all got to put yourselves first, right? Y'all can't sacrifice yourself to be spiritual. I'll never sacrifice myself to say that I did nothing spiritual for nobody. If it's a hard no from them, it's a hard no from me. I don't care how it's going to make me look in the public. Listen, I worked this spiritual thing for so many years before I came to Instagram that it's like, this is foreign. People had to show me how to use this. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know how to use this. I'm used to one-on-one, in-person, ultra houses, sitting under the foot of your elders, God brothers, God sisters, IG bones, all that. You know, tatas. I'm used to the in-person stuff. So when you're in person with people, you see them all the time. It's easier for you to know what's good with them, right? This is a little bit harder because I ain't seeing y'all all the time. I'm only, we communicate this way, and I don't see half of y'all. I don't know who half of y'all are, but I can tell from your energy that there's certain things that you need to be doing, right? There's certain things that should be happening in your life, and if you're not going to take the information from me, then I don't know where you're going to take it from, but I hope that you take it from someone that's going to help you and not harm you in the future. That's my wish for you. My goal for you is to connect with the energies that are there to protect and help you, and don't be so worried about keeping up with the Joneses, because half of them don't know what they're doing. This internet spirituality is a bunch of nonsense. It's nonsense. Listen, that whole everybody is Sabrina and a teenage witch. I need y'all to stop. Half that shit is fake, right? There's always a repercussion to somebody's actions. Even that chick in that show always got a repercussion for her dumbass actions, because she operates mostly off of emotion and not sense, right? There's no structure, there's no planning, there's no none of that kind of stuff. Just fly by the seat of your pants and I want what I want. And that's how you get jacked up, because nobody cares what you want. Is it in the right time? Is it in the right space and place? Can you receive it? Is it easy for us to give it to you at this time? Did you work enough for it? Because that's the most thing. Working for what you are asking for. If you have not worked for it, you're not going to get it. They'll give you a little bit in the beginning just to wet your tongue so that you know this is what's possible. And as soon as you step that way, it's dry. Dry. Hella dry. They will dry it up as easily as they gave it to you, without a problem. And they don't care how you feel about it. You could cry and whine about it all you want. Your ancestors, they'll let you get the lesson however you need to get it. That's your business. We tried to tell you the way that you were to get it. You didn't do it that way. So it's fine if we have to scrape your knees all the way to the finish line and to the promised land. That's what we're going to do. That's your choice. Go willingly. Go willingly. It hurts when you get dragged. I don't want to get dragged. Spiritually, no. Did they drag me? Absolutely. They let me get dragged, because I wasn't paying attention. I have been full on mounted by spirit on multiple occasions to save my life. And do you think that at that point I said, let me go find out what's going on with my spiritual walk? Absolutely not. I was in the club the next week. They was like, you's about a dumbass. And I was like, true. But Diddy and them is having a party and I want to go, so I'm going to just go. And they was like, all right, keep it up. They let me catch it. Whew. They let me catch it. They let me fight a spiritual battle that was like nobody's business. And they knew that it had to be that for me to say, hold up, ho. Hold up, bitch. Wait a minute. What had happened now? I got goons? What my goons do? Wait a minute. What I gotta do to set this up? How I gotta do this? And they was like, stay in the light. And I was like, okay. What else I gotta do? They told me what I needed to do. You think that I took that hit and was like, okay, they saved me. I'm going to dip and dip with this spiritual thing, but I'm going to go back? Absolutely not. I knew what my saving grace was. They showed me what was in store for me. They showed me what was meant for me. They showed me how they pulled me out of that. They showed me what this person was trying to do to me. They showed it to me clear as day. And I was like, you know what? That was my defining moment. I could either go dark, right? And I want to be a spiritual badass. I'm a war. Or I could elevate. I could take out all of the contracts that I signed and read them over and agree to them. All right, I'm going to do it. And I made my word my bond. They watched me make my word my bond, and my steps and my actions match my path, right? The path that was told that I should have been walking back then when I was dropping it like it was hot and busting it, right? Once I made that decision to say, I'm wholehearted, I'm 10 toes down for this, I'm 10 toes down for y'all. Y'all saved me and y'all threw me a lifeline, and I'm going to make sure that if my role in this walk is to throw down lifelines to people, then I'm going to do it with the character of one that is above all of the ego, all of the outside forces of this world that'll come in and mess you up. I'm going to make sure that I am true to spirit of at all times, right? That I'm true to myself at all times, and that what I do is from the love, right? From a place of love, from a place of wanting to help, and that desire of being that healer, right? Because I can only lead you to your healing. I can only show you the things that you need to work on. The healing, the actual work of that comes from you. I can help you get to those points, but you got to do the work. I'm willing to do that. And then once I said I was willing to do that, but I'm willing to learn, they said, all right, we're going to teach you everything. And I sat in it and I learned everything that I could. Read it, experienced it, walked through it, went through tumultuous situations again and again and again, and they watched me go through that, and I never tipped my hand and do nothing dirty to nobody. I took it to them every time. Anytime I had a beef, I took it to them. Anytime I had a problem, I took it to them. I didn't go and venture out on my own and say, oh, I'm this big bad bruja. I could go do, no. Because everything is not for me to touch. Everything is not for me to take it upon myself to do. That's why I have them. If it was on me to do it all by myself, then what would be the purpose of putting all this energy and stuff into them? Why I got these statues, these dolls, these energies, all of this blood I'm serving up, all of these ebos I'm doing, all these Orisha I'm receiving, all this stuff I'm doing, I'm giving it up for something. I shouldn't have to be working so hard to stay with my head above the water if I'm vibrating right, if I'm giving it my trust, if I'm on target, if I'm balanced, if I'm not letting the little things sneak in, right? Because y'all will give this facade that, you're doing it all, but if you listen to yourselves, you're still lying to people. And if you're lying to people, that means you're lying to yourself. That means that you're still trying to make things work the way you want it, in your way, in your time. You have to give up that. You have to surrender to spirit and allow them to show you how it's supposed to go. You're not telling them how. I wish I would try to tell my madama how it's supposed to go. She'll flip my whole house upside down. Bitch, ain't nobody asked you how it's supposed to go. That's her. Bitch, ain't nobody asked you. Didn't you ask me? Haven't I been here before? Do you not come to me for the information? Bitch, did I ask you? You can tell me what you would like, and I'm going to tell you how it's supposed to be. You think I ain't eating that? You would a spoon, a fork, a chopstick. I'm chomping that up, swallowing it, and going to sit down and shut my mouth. Hey, Luna Eclipse, thank you, baby. So don't even get into, I'm gonna tell my spirits, I'm gonna make my spirits, you sound crazy. Elevated spirits are looking at you like you are here to be guided by me. I am a spiritual guide. I guide. You follow. That's how it works. I guide, you follow. When you are strong enough, you still realize that I guide and you follow. You gotta do it. Y'all gotta do what you're supposed to be doing. There is nothing keeping you from doing what you're supposed to be doing except for you. If it's not important, hey Pocahontas, if it's not important to you, then your actions are going to show just that. Spirit is looking at your actions. I keep saying that the currency is energy, right? Not coin, nothing else. Energy is the currency of the universe. We happen to live in this cosmos. This is where we live. This is us. This is us. This is where we here, right? While we here, it's energy. We got to go back to before we had these suits. We were spirits, right? It's still in there. Ori's still there. Everything's still there. What's important to you? Spirit is important to me because I know that is my gauge, right? That is my compass. That is my everything, right? They are the ones who are so in tune to my existence here that they keep me upright at all times. In my sleep, in my wake, in my pain, in all of those things, they don't let me suffer, ever. If you're in a place and you're suffering and you're not growing, that means that you're not doing something that you should be doing. You haven't surrendered. When I say surrender, I mean you gotta surrender to the Spirit. Who's yours? You. Your higher self. We came here to do certain things. And in the interim, life happened. And we lost it all. All we're doing is playing catch up to figure out what were we supposed to really be doing before life kicked us in the butt, right? I've decided to not let life and all the things that happened to me in my life affect what I was supposed to originally be doing when I got here. I am content with the idea that I've done enough living the fleshy human life to say, I'm going to be more spiritual every day of my life. Right? You know why? Because I remember what my life was before I was so spiritual. It wasn't the greatest. I had fun. Yeah, the parties was lit. The experiences was everything. Today, in this walk, what has it done for me? Nothing. It gives me great stories. Does nobody care about my stories? That shit ain't saving nobody. That shit ain't helping nobody. It ain't helping nobody grow. It ain't helping nobody protect themselves. It's not helping nobody cleanse themselves. It's not helping nobody to get better and get on their path. Spirit did that for me. Not my past experiences of me being in the club, chilling. Getting the spirit in the dark. What do you mean? Getting the spirit in the dark. What do I mean? So once you make the decision to say, you in it to better your life, all doors open. They don't all open at once, right? They don't all open within a 90-day span of time. Don't stop putting timetables on it. When you're watching the timetable, Spirit is watching you watch that timetable. And they are not playing by your timetable. They're playing by their own rules. Their own... Oh, okay. I don't know that song. They're playing by the rules of the laws of the land and in accordance to what is syncing up with you in this time and the current state of the world, right? Nature. What's happening around us? What's the energies that's going on? What's going on all across the cosmos at this time, right? If we are not vibing along with that, then you're fighting against yourself. You can't go against that and think that you are going to move smoothly. When we were children and we went to get into the beach, we would ride the waves, right? We will wait for the wave to come to a certain point to jump, to ride it, to get the right part of the wave before we get knocked over. Or if we did it too soon, we got knocked down or anything like that. Spirit is the same way. You got to watch the waves of the ocean, right? Which are cycled by the moon. All this is nature-based, right? In order for you to get the proper jump when the wave comes for you to ride it, you got to ride the wave. And when it's time for you to be able to do the right thing, Spirit will let you know. Don't rush it. But don't go too slow. Stop not doing. If you reach 1 week that you haven't done anything spiritual, kick yourself in the ass, because you shouldn't go not 1 week without doing something spiritual. And that you've been told that you have spiritual gifts, spiritual stuff in your corner, ancestors standing forward, all of that kind of stuff. You better get on your job. I'm not going to keep telling y'all to get on your job. Get on your job. Don't need someone to constantly be in your ear telling you to do the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. Y'all are not children anymore. Babies need that kind of stuff, not y'all. Don't be that. Don't allow yourself to get in that place, because that's where you stagnate yourself. You stagnate your growth. You kind of put cement shoes on yourself, and it's no reason. Take the cement shoes off and walk barefoot and see where your path leads you. Only greatness can come from that, right? In the beginning, there's pain, because you got to look in the inside, right? You got to look at all the things that hurt you. When you address them, you take away its power. Yes, certain things have happened to us. Yes, we've been in violent situations. Yes, we've been abused. Yes, we've been all of these things. And you know what? I'm still here. What did it teach me? Ask better questions. Pay attention to people's characters. Look at their family. Look at what they're saying. Look at what they're not saying. I heard them tell on themselves, but I wanted it to be that I was going to be different. Stop doing all of that kind of stuff. That's good. You should be taught. I talk to my spirits 24/7. 24/7. And they stay in my ear because I always got something good. And they always want it. And I usually give it to, like, I have child energies, right? Some of them are children's energies. So when I start messing with one of the children's energies, the rest, like the children's part of Elegua, he comes, right? I have a Beijis. You can't give the candies out, and then they want the candies, and then the egg babies, they want the candies, and like this children, like I can't. You got to pay attention to that, right? Because even in that instance, sometimes I'll be going to give it to somebody, right? And my intention wasn't to give it to one of the other ones, but I'll hear it, or I'll get a flash of them. I'll see them. I'm not in that room with them, but I'll see them. That means bring it over here too. So when I bring it, I'll get thank you, you know? Ooh, or they'll be like, oh, yes, you know, something like that to let me know, like, you heard me. I hear you. I see you. I see the way that you're giving it to me. If I even in the moment get a thought of giving something to somebody, and I get an image of another energy that I know that's in my house that wants it, I don't act like, oh, maybe I just got that image for something. They put it in my head. That means, hey, I see. Give me some of that too. So I go over there and give it to them. Those little things, the more that you pay attention to that, it'll happen more, and you'll start to pick up on it, right? So that is the connection being growing. It's growing closer, right? It's allowing for you to wake up, because all it takes is that spark of that to kick off for you to more. The more you do anything, the better you get at it, right? You can't not do it and think you're going to be a whiz at anything. Not riding a bike, not driving a car, not riding a horse, not riding your man, okay? Your knees got to be able to adapt to that, right? Your back has to be able to adapt to that. You ain't get up there the first time out and go to town on that. Let's keep it funky. Everything needs to be worked on. Spirit is no different. If you can put into getting these TikToks and everything down and doing the dances and all that dumb shit, then you can put as much energy into learning how to communicate with your energies. And I'm going to leave that at that. About how you said if you go 1 week without doing spiritual work, I heard my echo say, I don't know why you let... About. And see, and so you set yourself up for that one, but you can hear them, which is even better for you, and let you know that you playing. That's crazy. You got it. You got what so many people would pay for, right? And that are pretending to have that they don't have it. You hear them clear as day, and you over there playing. Stop playing with them. Go get what's yours, right? Get your blessings. Get them ideas. Get that wisdom. Get that guidance. Show me the yellow brick road. I want to see it. Only y'all got to get the bright light to shine and send me on my path. That's the way I'm going. I don't care who said what. I'm not playing with the riffraff and the what they call it, the covens and all that. No, I'm not playing with y'all play spiritual people. I don't want to do that. I want to talk directly to the spirits, because that's where it's cracking at. If it comes straight from you, you can't beat that. That's like the golden chalice. I want to drink from that chalice. Whose chalice? My spirit's chalice, because y'all got all of the wisdom and the knowledge and all of that in this cup. I want it. Thank you. I don't have to make it up. All I got to do is invest myself in it. I'm here all day. Y'all got to get like that. Please. Y'all don't understand all of the doors that are opened when it happens. Y'all don't understand all of the things that are allowed to work when they see that you're serious. I told y'all, I worked for corporate America for 20-something years, right? I used to cry every day. For the last 3 years, shit, the last 3-4 years, I used to cry every day. Not until that last year came up, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Y'all gotta get me out of here. Like, I hadn't reached a number of years where I was able to, like, I'm legally retired, right? I was able to do all of the things that I was able to do and get out of here and not have to worry about my money, right? They didn't do that for me until I was 10 toes down spiritually. I was still working 9 to 5. And I used to get maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, right? I used to, every Saturday and Sunday, it was with my godmother, right? Or Sunday. Saturday or Sunday. One of those 2 days, I was doing something with my godmother. I was doing something where spirit was concerned. I was doing something spiritual at least one day every weekend, right? I would call her to go over to spend time with her just to see what the fuck she was doing. Whatever she was doing, I wanted in. And while I was there, I would beg her, yo, pull out your books. I need to see what's in your book. I need these notes. I need this, and this. If you are not applying yourself, you're not learning, right? They watched to see how far I would go. They watched to see, even in the fights, if I was going to turn around and do some wild style shit, or if I was going to stay true to my word and stay in the light and do things the right way. I stayed in the light and kept doing things the right way. And the more things that came up to in opposition made me want to fight harder, because then I felt like, who the fuck told you? Then I got offended. Then I felt like, oh, y'all playing. Y'all trying to play me. Y'all trying to play my spiritual gift. Oh. They know that was the way to get me, because it was just like, hold up. And it was like, she ain't going nowhere. So we could give her the freedom of not having to work a 9 to 5, set her up financially, and she not going to run off on a spiritual walk. She not going to take what we gave her and run and go do something else. And I didn't. I did more spiritually. That's why my blessings came back faster, heavier, and more, because I just kept going. When I started making these sopetas and all this other kind of spiritual stuff, I had no idea that I could do any of this stuff. No clue. No clue. I said I was in the club. Who got time to sit there with all these little goddamn things and poke them? I ain't got time for that. When I got spiritual and I started to sit there, the first person that made me make something, the first thing that I made was for Oshun. She was like, I need a mirror. I want a mirror. And I was like, I can't find a mirror. I searched and searched and searched. I couldn't find a mirror. She was, everything I showed her, she ain't like it. She ain't like it. She ain't like it. I was like, oh my God, this lady. She was like, why don't you make it? And I was like, how the hell am I supposed to make this? She showed me, took me in the store, showed me the mirror. I bought the mirror. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. I brought it home. I used to make scarves 30 years ago, right? I have gone down to the garment district and bought, to the wholesale places and bought Swarovski crystals. So I had a bunch of Swarovski crystals still in the thing, because I don't throw nothing away. And I don't know what I was doing one day. I looked into something. They leave me. So I just went to look in the thing and I found the crystals. And I was like, oh shit. She was like, put them on the mirror. And I was like, put them on the mirror? What the fuck am I supposed to do? Put them on the mirror. It came out so nice. It was the trust, right? It was the fact that I'm opening my mind and my ears, and all of my third eye, all of my spiritual stuff is open now, that I can hear, I can communicate. At this point, I'm already part of an ultra house. I already got my ancestor stuff set up. I've already had my ancestors fed. I already got my Bovida set up. I already got my Elegwas and my warriors and all the different Orisha and all this other kind of, I got all this stuff now. I got all this stuff, right? Now they talking to me. Right? I'm like, oh shit, they talking to me now. When it worked out and I looked at it and it was so pretty, she was like, take a picture of it. I took a picture of it and I posted it. I didn't even post it. I showed it to my family and my friends. And everybody that was initiated into the traditions was like, I want one. And I was like, you want one? And they was like, yeah, make me one. I was like, you want one of these? And they was like, yeah, make me one. I want one for my Oshun. Make me one. That's how I started. They give me the ideas. They give me the prosperity and the abundance and the blessings and all of that kind of stuff because I listened. I could have said, oh no, I don't know how to do this. I'm not going to do it. I trusted what she said. She was like, make it. She showed me what to do. She showed me the thing that I bought it. When I finished with it, it was so amazing to half of this stuff that I make, like them pots and stuff. Let me tell you something. I'll get the idea. I want to make this kind of pot. They be like, no, we don't want to work with that right now. Make this one. So I'll go and do another one. But I don't know how it's going to look when it's done. I amaze myself. I know that it ain't nobody but my ego. It ain't nobody but my spiritual team. It ain't nobody but them. They choose my fabrics. They choose when I'm making my door. All of them. That's them. I am merely the vessel that have allowed them access to communicating with me, for them to help me heighten my abilities, for them to help me with my gifts, for me to help my gifts actually manifest into something tangible that will bring me abundance, and at the same time offer somebody else some of my ashe and giving the Orisha something that assists them in their work, right? Because the mirrors for Oshun, she gives you that to look at your life, fam. It ain't about beauty. Look at this mirror and check out your life, player. Right. Ain't nothing like that cold, hard mirror looking back at you with all your shit in that reflection. That's about that. So when I make that, that's giving you something to work with. That's why it blesses me. Not because it's pretty and it's fancy and it does. No. It does something. And because I know that when I'm making it and I'm putting what I'm putting into it and my ashe is going in there and it's spirit showing me, guiding me, doing the work. They using my hands. That's a blessing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But that's the blessing that comes through them. I don't take no credit for any of that kind of stuff other than me being in the right place at the right time and then allowing them to do what they do and use me as a vessel. I am most honored and grateful and anointed and blessed for them allowing me such things. And this is why I say you've got to find your talents and your gifts. And if you feel the need to create, this is creation. Right? Some people think, oh, creation, I need to be having babies. No, I'm going to create in a different way. I am not a kid person. I don't like them like that. I like them as long as they belong to somebody else and then they can go home. Right? We good that way. In my house, I'm not that person. I like my freedom. I like to move the way I move and do what I want to do. I have a very child-unfriendly household. There's too many weapons around here. They'll tear my shit up. Right? It's not safe here for a kid. Adults and spirits all day, right? So you need to know what you good at. Where's your gifts? I'm going to do a video on planting something. I have a particular plant that I have about 5 of them that's growing in here. That is amazing. I'm going to try to do this visit. I love babies. I love babies. That next level up though? No ma'am. And then my nails was too long, so cleaning the boo-boo Pampers, like that shit ain't gonna work either. Take your kids, so I go about my business. Thank you. I got an hour with them, and you can have them back. Word. An hour with them, and you can have them back. And then I finish. Okay, right. The time plus it's you on YouTube. Thank you, honey. And then we gotta support one another. You know what I'm saying? Y'all so easy to go and just try anything from anybody. Have you guys ever tried to, I see all you people, y'all like to take part in these abundance rituals, these abundance services, all of that kind of stuff. You ever tried to do it for yourself? Try it. Take it to your ancestors. The same stuff that you see these people doing, minimize it. 1 candle, if that's what you're doing, right? Do a petition. Ask the ancestors for what it is that you need, but you have to actively be working and doing something to bring that abundance to you, right? You can't say, oh, I asked for this money to come through and this, that, and the third, but they gave you something else to do that was supposed to be able for you to make money, and you didn't do that. You only asking about this. You got to do that, so even that moves. If it's energy and you are the source, and I gave you something that's going to make you money, right? This way is going to get you some other money, but this way is going to make you money, and this way forces you to actually work, right? What you think is going to push forward that other stuff? You're the source. Do that. We're working on this, but in the interim, you do that. If you're working and we're working, we're both moving. That's how that works. I thought you was going to go to bed. Right? It's not that hard when you tap into it once you start. So, but don't stop. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop. You can't stop. What's the purpose in you stopping? You haven't reached the precipice of where you're supposed to be in your life. As long as you're here, you should be learning and growing, right? As long as you're alive and breathing and you're still doing stuff, then you should still be learning and growing and moving accordingly. So don't ever stop, right? There's always more for you to learn. There's always more for you to do. I amaze myself at all times with the things that I come up with. And it don't be me. Sometimes it do be me. Let me give myself a little bit of credit. Sometimes it do be me, but for the most part, I know it's them. I know what I said. I want to try to do this, and they'll be like, here go a quick picture. Try it this way. I'll be like, oh, shit. That's dope. Let me see. Let me see. And then I'll start making sure that I got what I need to do it, right? Once all the pieces lay out and I got it, I know that that's a go. That's a go. I'm in. It's going to work out. You know why? Because I'm going to do it little by little by little by little. And when I feel that the connection is no longer there and I'm stumped, I stop and I walk away. Sometimes they work for a little bit and then they don't want to finish it no more right now. They got something else to go do. So they'll be like, all right, put it down. We'll get back to it another day, right? Or they got to go do something else. Do I ask them what they're going to do? No, I don't care what they're going to do. I know that you helped me in this time frame right now. Thank you. Love you. This shit is coming out lit. I'll be back tomorrow. That blue, the Oshun pot that I put up the other day, that shit sold as soon as I put it up, right? I had started it, and there was a way that I said that I was going to do it. Child, please. I put that pot down, and I was like, it looks nice, and I walked away from it. The next day, I came back to the pot was sitting there looking at me, and they was like, that pot is not finished, and I was like, but I thought I was finished, and they was like, but we thought you weren't. How about that? And I was like, okay. They was like, do another border, and I was like, with what? They was like, this, and this. They made me finish, and when I finished it, it just looked like a sunburst, and I was like, oh my God, it looks so dope. I tried to say I was finished with the pot, and they was like, you're absolutely not finished with this pot. Absolutely not. And I was like, oh, okay. More work must be done. I listened. That pot sold in 24 hours. Y'all see how much I paid my pots go for? Like, cut it out. This isn't paying attention to what they told me. They know what the person is looking for. They know this pot, I'm making it for Oshun. Somebody's going to need this. They are seeing the past, present, and future. They know who's coming for the pot. They know what this energy is going to like with this pot. Do it this way. And it's sold. That's how my stuff sells, right? Do it this way. Them. I work for so many different clients that for the most part, it's got to be a connection in spirit for them to show me how it needs to be for these designs to come out the way that they come out, because I don't know. Madama who wants to make clothes and she wants me to make clothes. I made my first thing. I messed up, so I wanted to quit. You can't quit. You got to keep going until you get it right. Keep going until you get it right. Do you think that the first Madama dolls and dresses and stuff that I made, the hems weren't 100% the right hem and all of that other kind of stuff? It wasn't 1,000. The more I did it, the better I became at it. You know? I know, right? I did say that like an hour. I'm getting off. What time is it? Shit, it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Listen. They like, we haven't been here in a while. We chit-chatting, and I'm going to bed. I am going to go and watch Rick and Morty, because that's my wind down, because they're out of their minds, and I like take over the world type shit. That's my shit. And I'm going to relax and lay down. Yes, I didn't even notice that. My goodness. I thank you guys for sharing your time and your energy here. I'm going to try to save this video. It was kind of long, so I don't know if they're going to let me save it, but I will try. Again, the question block is up in my stories. Thank you so much. I love you guys too. I'm so gracious to anybody that's willing to learn, right? I want you guys to be able to come out of this and do all. I want y'all to be like, yo, my ego said, my spirit guides this. Like, come on. I love that, right? That means that your life is on the rise, right? That means there's less people able to take advantage of y'all, right? That means that there's more y'all doing more within y'all walk, so y'all not so into the system and dependent on upon the system and all of that other kind of stuff. Is freedom, right? Spirituality is giving me freedom to live my life on my own terms, right? The way that I need to live my life, not according to anybody or anything else, just what my path was written for me. I live life on my own terms, right? They sanction it, right? It's spirit sanctioned. So our terms, my team, my ancestors, my spiritual guides, my life, my walk, they're on our terms and nobody else's. That's the goal that I have for you and the wish that I have for you guys, to be able to live this spiritual walk and to live your lives on your own terms. And the rest of the world just has to fall in line. I thank you guys for your energy tonight. I am going to save this video. Question thing is in my stories if you guys want to add to that. Thank you so much, you guys. Love you. Good night.